GetYourShare.ca.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Escape the cold and catch the hottest sports action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Not a bad seat in the house. All the games and tons of big screens. Plus, Selly's menu has something for everyone, along with game night food and drink features. And this January, Oilers watch parties continue. So bring your friends and cheer loud and proud. Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
When your driveway's covered in snow, Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital have you covered. Toro's gas or battery-powered single-stage power clear snowblowers make it easy to clear right down to the concrete with incredible Toro-powered Propel technology. Face the next snow day without fear, thanks to Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital. Visit lawnmowerhospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auctions are this Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Long path ahead. Here comes Nick Hudson.
On Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Second chance opportunity for the Rockets. There haven't been any of those in the second half. Look at the job that Castle continues to do on Durant. Timer's down to 3. Durant can't get rid of Castle. Shot clock at 1. Webby comes over, sends it back, and it's a shot clock violation.
Well, maybe that'll be the theme song tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. The Eye of the Tiger. Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a wonderful Thursday afternoon. The Edmonton Oilers, of course, are set to take on the San Jose Sharks, who, hey, the Sharks, they're entertaining. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games, fresh off a 5-2 win in Vancouver. They score a lot of goals, and they give up a lot of goals. So the Oilers will have opportunities tonight, and they got to be aware of Macklin Celebrini. We'll get into the numbers of Macklin Celebrini, and when you talk about Hart Trophy, today, now it's only 51 games into the season for the Sharks, right? There's still lots of season left. And McDavid keeps piling on more points and the separation gets bigger. Kucherov, the season he's having, the Sharks, if they fall out of it, it's going to be hard. But right now, today, based on the wording of the Hart Trophy, most valuable to your team, it ain't a question. It's Macklin Celebrini. And we'll get into to those numbers for you momentarily. Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. It's Thursday. Our favorite games, the Daily Grand. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.3 million. Gino today. Pretty sweet. PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, of course, you get the Gregor Show bonus codes and stuff. So check that out. It is a busy, busy night in the National Hockey League with 15 games, of course, including the Oilers taking on the Sharks. Last night, you had the Islanders beat the Rangers. They're going to go at it again tonight. Colorado suddenly in a little bit of a funk. They lose 5-2 to Ottawa last night. They're in Montreal tonight. The Devils, fresh off trading Andre Palat, Siplikov will make his debut for them as they host Nashville. The Flyers, who blew multiple leads last night to Columbus, they take on the Bruins tonight. The Bruins 8-1-1 in their last 8 games. You have Utah on the road in Carolina. The Kings are in Buffalo. Break up the Sabres, baby. They are rolling. See if that continues tonight. Chicago taking on Pittsburgh. The Penguins have won 5 in a row. Tampa Bay hosting Winnipeg. Winnipeg's like a last chance saloon is where they're sitting right now. They're at the bar, and I'm telling you, they might be cut off. It might be last call very quickly for the Winnipeg Jets if they can't get a win or multiple wins here very soon. The Red Wings hosting the Capitals. Logan Thompson will not play tonight for the Capitals. Took a shot off the mask, so he's out day to day. Calgary is in Minnesota. That shapes up to be a snooze fest, most likely. Not a lot of offense there from the Flames. And, hey, the Wild, they're good, but that could be a rather low event hockey game. Florida is in St. Louis. The Panthers are battling for their playoff lives. The Ducks are in Vancouver. The Canucks, hey, 2026 is going exactly how you'd want it if you're a Vancouver Canuck fan, because they do not win very often right now in the calendar year of 2026. If I'm not mistaken, the Canuckers have 1 victory so far this month. That was over the Washington Capitals. Other than that, lost in a shootout, lost in overtime. Then they went on a road trip and lost 7, 8 in a row in regulation. So they'd lost 10 technically. They went 0-8-2. Then they got a win, and now they've lost their last 3. So 1-11-2 so far this month. They got the Ducks tonight, and then they host Toronto. And here's the thing. They're on an 8-game homestand. Lost 6-0, lost 4-3, won 4-3, lost 5-4, lost 3-2, lost 5-2. But if you're a fan, you're like, probably, you know what? If you're a Canuck fan, you're like, we can lose every game, but how about we beat the Leafs? That's probably what they're thinking. But we shall see. And I think that, you also have Dallas in Vegas tonight. So could the Stars do the Oilers a little favor? The Oilers, of course, nipping at the heels of Vegas, but Vegas has some games in hand. So Oilers need to keep winning. And hey, dare to dream, Oilers fans, dare to dream. Game 55 of the season tonight for the Oilers. Their franchise record for most games played in a season before reaching a 3-game winning streak has been, drum roll please, 55 games. Their first season in the league, it took them 52. They won game 50, game 51, and game 52. In 1992, game 53, game 54, game 55. Finally got a 3-game winning streak. It happened again in 2000. And now, 26 years later, could happen again for the Edmonton Oilers. Like at some point, you got to win 3 in a row. They've scored lots of goals. They've been entertaining games the last few games. So we'll see if that trend continues Tonight, we'll hear from Leon Draisaitl talking about, he had a really funny line. Draisaitl was, you can tell how excited he is about the Olympics and representing his country for Germany. Like, this is a big deal. He's the face of German hockey. And, obviously you got Mo Seider and you got Stützle and you got JJ Peterka and you got a few other guys, Joel, Szymanski from the Oilers on that team. And Germany obviously isn't on the same level as Canada or the US. We understand that, but they feel they're coming. They got one of the best players in the world. They got a top defenseman. Right? Like, if you had Draisaitl, Stützle, and Peterka as a line, you'd be, hey, pretty good line. They're all top 6 players. It's a good line. So we'll see what they do. They're in the pool with Team USA and Latvia and Denmark. And how the Olympic, if you don't know how it works, so there's 3 pools of 4 teams. Everybody plays everybody once in their pool. So you get 3 games, and then after 3 games, now it's 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for overtime win, 1 for tie. And then 1 for an overtime loss. You play the 3 games in your pool, and who's ever first in your pool, they get a bye. And then out of the 3 second place teams, whichever one has the best record, they also get a bye. And then essentially, kind of think back to the 2021 season. Remember when it was cut short, and then they came back in August and played? And then you had the top 4 teams. Well, they didn't really have a bye. They played each other once, if you recall. But then 5 played 12, 6 played 11, 7 played 10, 8 played 9. That's what will happen. So everybody technically makes the playoffs in the Olympic tournament. 5-12, 6-11, etc. So Germany, you know what? They got a decent chance to finish second in their pool and then get a lower seed. Canada, obviously, their toughest competition will come from Czechia, I would think, in their own pool. I'm still going to favor Canada. Canada should win their pool. USA should, doesn't mean they will, but should win their pool, same as Canada. And Sweden, Finland, great little rivalry early on. Probably lean Sweden in that one. We'll see. So, but we'll talk to Draisaitl about that. Also had some high praise for young Szymanski. Also, the part of Macklin Celebrini's game that he has noticed the most. Landon Ferraro will be by today. Dave Owens from Thirsty Thursday. TR will join us. Ed Hervey, the general manager of the Edmonton Elks, as the Elks free agency starts a little early for them because they have signed a new receiver, Mr. Mack, Austin Mack, a 2-year deal. Of course, Mack and the Montreal Alouettes had mutually agreed to terminate his contract. Rare, but it happened. And that's a benefit to the Elks. Now, Cody Fajardo and Mack, they had a lot of success together in Montreal. So, and that matters for receiver quarterback combination. Mack had a good year last year without Fajardo, but you bring Fajardo back in. I think if there's one element of Cody's game next year, I'd like to see improve. I'd like to see him, throw a few more 50-50 balls, like gun a few in there and trust your receivers. So if you have a receiver like that you can really trust, then away you go. So they signed Mack. Also, this just coming down moments ago, they've extended Jared Brinkman through to the end of the 2027 season. So that's another good signing. I thought Brinkman, out of all the veterans on the D-line, he was obviously the best. Smith was banged up, and Serezna was obviously very banged up and then didn't do very much. And I'm not sold that he'll be back, but bring back Brinkman when he's healthy. He can be a guy who helps your team. No question about that. We got a lot of text from people wondering, hey guys, everybody okay? Yeah, everybody's fine at the station. It was the incident that happened was actually far away from where our location is in the mall. The mall is obviously pretty big, but I actually wasn't there. The con man texted me, hey, don't bother rushing here. So lockdown. So con, did you have a deck of cards? What were you guys doing in lockdown?
We were playing a game. I don't know what it was called. The Sports 1440 crew, where you had to, based on a number, rank things. Wavelengths is what the game was called.
So what do you mean you had to rank things? Like,
so there was 5 of us. I would close my eyes and they would pick a number 1 to 10. So say they pick 7, I would say, Declan, type of pizza. And then he would have to, ballpark a type of pizza that would be a 7 out of 10. So we got to learn a little bit more about the new intern and about
Okay,
each
so you
other.
got to know like where he stands is what's a 7 out of 10 of a pizza.
Yeah. So
right.
for him and I, the question was, I said bubbly flavors, and he said raspberry. It was 6 out of 10. So
I've never had a bubbly.
no.
Well, it's just flavored water.
It's flavored water. Yeah.
Like, why do I need to do that?
If you like carbonation or you want to try it, it's good.
Well, then I'll just have a Perrier. Class it up.
Class
it up.
La-di-da.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, everyone was stored in the back. We were good.
Okay. Oh, you guys were in the back in the vault there.
Yeah. No Wi-Fi.
So you guys actually had to talk and converse? Did you guys get through it?
We didn't want to play this game. We were forced to.
Oh, yeah, because you're just like, what do we do without our phones? Like, oh, my God, we actually have to communicate and talk? What is this weird thing? Like, it's true. I think it's great. I think that we should do it more often. Force people, you know what? Hey, kids, go play together. No phones. How are you going to handle? Hey, teenagers, what are you going to do? You can't. Because that's the one thing that you see kids walking around, and they carry their phone like, what are they, Linus? And it's like a security blanket. I don't understand it. It's brutal. Anyway, glad to hear that everyone is all right. So hopefully everybody in the mall, I haven't heard anything that there was anybody injured. Hopefully not. So we'll see. Also today on the show, as I mentioned, Ed Hervey will join us. Sheng Peng will join us from San Jose. The Sharks, Connor Halley, are in on the Artemi Panarin trade talk. And Shannon reported earlier today that Panarin has said he would sign an extension if traded to San Jose. Dum, dum, dum. Imagine Panarin coming in the Pacific Division. Woo! Well, hey, I look at the Sharks, and here's some numbers on Macklin Celebrini and what makes him so valuable to his team. So if here's how important he is. So when he's on the ice at 5-on-5, the Sharks have outscored teams 49-35. So he's plus 14 at 5-on-5. When he's off of the ice, the Sharks are minus 31. This season, like, you want to put a lot of pressure on a sophomore player. He has had 22 games where he's had multi-point games. The Sharks are 19-2-1 when Celebrini gets at least 2 points. 19-2-1. When he has 1 point or less, they're 7-19-2. So basically, it's like, hey, if Celebrini can get 2 points a game, we can win. That's what it comes down to. Like, that's massive difference, man. Massive. And that's why when people ask, like, Celebrini to me is a lock to start this tournament at the Olympics on McDavid's wing. Oiler fans, I think you're going to be in for a treat. You watch tonight because you're Oiler fans, and most of you are, well, I'm assuming you're Canadian fans cheering for Canada, right? Although, what are those separatists? Who are they going to cheer for? No one? Anyway.
Just Albertans.
Yeah. No, they won't. Right? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But you look at Celebrini tonight, and I think you'll be impressed. He's a hell of a young player. Hell of a young player. And the other, like, game respects game, as they say. Draisaitl spoke pretty, he admitted, hey, I don't watch a ton of his games, but this is the area of his game that I've really respected. So we'll get to that from Leon Draisaitl coming up here a little bit later on. Also, Mark Spector will be by. We'll hear from Chris Knobloch, Leon Draisaitl, Jake Wallman facing off against the Sharks. The Oilers were 4-0 against the Sharks last year. They've won 6 straight against San Jose. We all know the last time they lost. The only time they've lost this decade. We'll just try to forget about that day, but it happened. Terrible. Get shivers just thinking about it. God. Anywho, that's the only time. They're 14-1 in their last 15. But the Sharks are a better team this year. But still, I don't care. The Oilers, like, my goodness, if you don't win tonight, that'll be another colossal, just wasted opportunity of a team you should beat. I think you got to start winning more games. Like, so many times when it's 2-game win streak and you just lay an egg. Lineup changes. One for sure, Connor Ingram's in. He'll start in goal. Forward lines are going to stay the same. Mangiapane stays out. The other 4 lines are the same. McDavid, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Kapanen, the Euro line. You have then Szymanski, Savoy, Roslovic, the new guy line. All new to the Oilers this year. And then You have Lazar, Frederick, Janmark, veteran line. On the back end, Nurse and Wallman, we assume. Stastny and Emberson, we assume, if Matthias Ekholm plays. He took the morning skate today. He didn't stay out there overly long. I think there's a decent chance, not 100%, but a decent chance that Ekholm will play. We'll find out at the warm-up tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. The Sharks are going to go with their exact same lineup from last game. Hey, Gregor, you have to explain who Linus is. What? You guys don't know who Linus is with his blanket? In Charlie Brown? Connor, you know who he is, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a and hey, a lot of kids. I had a blanket. I had a green blanket. I remember that. It was like your little security thing. Like, now I didn't carry it around the mall. I didn't carry it when I went out in public. But I had a blanket. But now I find I see grown people, like they're walking around and their phone is just like, keep this thing here, man. It's like precious to them. That's what it's become for some people. It's like precious, and you're Gollum. You don't even know it, but you're kind of Gollum-y when it comes to your phone. Or like some people are like, I can't survive if I don't have it on me. Right? It's weird. It's a weird thing. Hey, Gregor, don't you think the Oilers should have reclaimed Noah Philp? Nope. Why? The Oilers have tons of forwards at the American League level that are playing. So he comes in, he's just going to take another roster spot of someone there, and they don't feel that Noah Philp can help them in the NHL. That's why they put him on waivers. And remember the outcry. And what did I say then, Connor Halley? We're spending way too much time on a player who's 27, who's never been a regular NHLer. And, oh, my God, I can't believe it. Look at Carolina. They're the analytics kings. They saw talent. No, they had injuries, and they claimed him. Now that their injured guys are back, they put him on waivers. No one claimed him, so now he's eligible to go down to the American League. I don't know. I haven't seen if they've officially assigned him there yet or not, but because sometimes you put a guy in waivers and then you wait, and then once the guys are fully healthy, then you can just send them down without the 24-hour waiting period. So there you go. Hey, Greg's, any word on when it's official that Braden Point is in or out for the Olympics from Walt? Walt's a great question, man. I got to think it's like they're leaving on the 7th to go there. So now some guys could leave earlier. That's a flight that I think is coming out of I think it's Connor said New York is where like the team play. Now you got to get there, whatever. He might just go directly from here, he was saying. So either way, like if Braden Point, would you play him in the Olympics if he doesn't play a regular season game next week? I don't know. Maybe they're going to look and say, hey, we don't care. We think he's going to be ready. So he might miss the first 2 games of the Olympics. I guess that's possible too, right? Because if they take him off the roster, then he cannot play at all. So we'll see. And Greg's, Carolina was so great at talent. They also took Puljujarvi from Edmonton. Doesn't mean they're guaranteed right at everything. Well, no one is, Blair, and that's a very astute point. Very astute point. Yeah. Hey, they took Noah Philp because they had injuries. Right? Try telling people that. No, they're going to play him. It's exactly what they want. Noah Philp has NHL capability and potential, but he's yet to figure out kind of how to carve out a role for himself. You got to get noticed when you're not a regular. Like, look at Clattenburg. He's the easiest example. When he played limited minutes, you knew he was on the ice. Right? It wasn't just fighting. When he was out there, he was physical. There was energy. There was a presence. When you're a guy trying to get in, you got to do something to get noticed. You can't just be a jag, just a guy. Can't do it. Right? If you do, you're not going to stick around. Quick break. We'll come back for our joins us next. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC, no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only, at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.225, welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It is game day, Oilers and the Shark. Man, excited to see Celebrini tonight as the Oilers look for that elusive 3-game winning streak. Can it happen? They would, if they win tonight, it means they avoid setting a new franchise record. They would tie the record, which is most games needed in a season before a 3-game winning streak. And I went actually year by year. You could, if you're interested, you can check it out at OilersNation.com. And I looked at every year. You know, like obviously the fewest games would be 3, because that means you won your first 3 games of the year, which happened in '84 and '86 and '97 and 2022 and 2020, as well as 2009 and 2006. The most though was 55. Which happened in 1992 and again in 2000. And tonight would be game 55. So maybe it's fitting that it's game 55 for them. The Drake Barahowski night for the Edmonton Oilers. We shall see. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Ice Center, just outside of Nisku. State-of-the-art facility, unbelievable place. You got concerts, curling. Of course, many of you play hockey out there. And then, of course, I got the Summit Restaurant right in between. Upstairs, you can sit in there and you look outside. You can watch your kids play and have some food, have a drink, ultra comfortable. So check it out, Silent Ice Center. As we welcome in former NHLer, analyst for Sportsnet and Sports 1440 pre and post-game host, Landon Ferraro, joins us. And Landon, I want to start with this. I know I'm getting a lot of texts, so somebody's read it online about, the Oilers and Jack Roslovic and a 4-year extension at $4 million. Not happening, but it's been rumbling. What would you say to a Roslovic 4-year deal?
I mean, I don't mind it, but I think it really depends on what they're bringing in to play around him, right? Like, to me, he needs to be up with Draisaitl on his wing. Like, if you're really looking to get points out of him, like, he needs to be up there. He's looked pretty decent especially with Savoy, but when Howard was here, and then Samansky the other night jumbled up the lines a bit, but to me, if he's going to be making that on a 4-year extension, like, you want him up with Draisaitl producing. They need someone else to be able to play in that 3C role. But, like, he's done well. The thing with Roslovic has always been, like, everyone knows he can score. He's got skill. He can skate. It's when the game gets to the playoffs and down the stretch, can he continue to do so? Can he still score? Can he still battle to the inside? Or does he get pushed to the outside? So to me, I'd be wanting to wait more so and let him have that playoff run and see how that goes. And if it goes well, then happily give him the deal.
And I think that's fair because if you look at his career, obviously he was younger his first few years in Winnipeg. He was a rookie, right? He had 20 games in playoffs the first 3 years, no goals. Then with the Rangers and the Hurricanes, he had 3 goals in 2 years, but in 25 games, 12 points. So half a point guy in the playoffs, which is kind of similar to what he is in the regular season. So that part, after the first 3 years, it got better, no question. The thing about Roslovic, like when I look at the positives, he can skate. He's not going to suddenly magically slow down. Like the guy can really move. His edge work is phenomenal. He can create separation with his edges in the offensive zone, which is hard to do, right? He's one of those rare guys. And I'm sure you can talk about, there's not a lot of guys who can accelerate coming out of a turn, right? I remember Taylor Hall, who was a very good skater. I asked him his first impressions of McDavid. He's like, I never seen a guy accelerate out of a crossover like that. Like he did. And Roslovic can do that. So, he's got a good shot, but it is, and Edmonton's goal is they're a team that they want to win. So, you want guys that can produce in the regular season, obviously, but then you want guys that can show up in the postseason. I know talking to Jack, he feels like a big reason he signed here was he wants the opportunity to show people, hey, I can play in the playoffs. So, I get why the organization's interested in him. At his goal production right now, if it continues on, like $4 million isn't an outlandish number. His age, 4 years isn't crazy, but I'm with you. I probably want to wait. I'm a little bit more wait and see, but the skill set of Roslovic, I don't think is going to disappear. It's just, he has had stretches in his career where he'll play great for a while, but then he disappears. So that's why I'd like to see, okay, can this last coming out of the Olympic break?
Yeah, and this isn't groundbreaking stuff, but it's the reason he's on the Oilers right now. If he had more consistency through the hard stretches of a season, at the end and in the playoffs, he wouldn't have been waiting for a contract into the regular season. He would have had a 4-year deal, a 5-year deal in the summertime, right? So, like this is a really big year for him. And, we knew that for him coming in. He knew that for himself. He's done really well, and it's about finishing that way. But just like you, to me, it just doesn't make sense not to wait and see. It's not like he's forced their hand to a point where they're like, he's done so exceptionally well that he's going to want to wait for free agency if we don't sign him now. Like, I don't think that's the case. So let him keep going, let him keep playing and doing his thing. You're right, his speed is really evident, but the fact that he can play in your top six and, through this part play and carry your own line a little bit. The Oilers don't have a ton of guys that can really move up and down the lineup and produce in those spots. They have guys that can fill roles, but to really make something of those minutes, he's one of the few guys that can move up and down.
Yeah. The Oilers and the Sharks. Macklin Celebrini obviously was just in Vancouver, put on a 4-point night in his hometown. And, I was looking at some of his numbers, and it's just ridiculous. Hey, he's producing great. He's got 78 points. Will Smith and Tyler Toffoli, who are second and third in scoring, they've combined have 71. So, like, when you're outscoring your second and third teammates together, you're doing something good. He's had 22 multi-point games this year. The Sharks are 19-1-2 and 19-2-1 in those games. When he only gets a point or 0 points, they've only won 7 times. So they clear 7-19-2. They clearly he drives the ship. And it's a lot of pressure for a 19-year-old. But, man, this guy, like Leon Draisaitl asked him, he goes, hey, I don't watch a ton of Sharks games. But the element of his game that he respects the most is just how good he is away from the puck and how good he is defensively, not to mention his ridiculous offensive numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not different from you guys just with how the schedule's working. But, in Vancouver, we just had Crosby come through and Celebrini come through. Like, you had both those guys in back-to-back games, and you can see why so many people are saying that he is, a mini Crosby. And, Tyson Barrie said on our broadcast the other night, and I thought it was really interesting because it is kind of true. Like, he's more of a hybrid of Crosby and Matthews with that release that he has and the way that he can shoot it. He had an okay game against the Canucks earlier in the year, and then getting to see him for my first time live, he was so far the best player on the ice. Like, it wasn't even close. And for a team for the Sharks that, we're obviously a much better team than they have been in the past, but they're still trying to figure it out and learn as they go. They played in the first period here in Vancouver the other night. They were the best team I've seen come through. They were so connected. It seemed like every shot they took was a one-timer. They moved the puck so well and crisp and making plays. You could see that, they're a young team, they're skilled, and they're having a ton of fun, right? Like, to me, they'd be coming into Edmonton and not, I can't believe we got to go play against Crosby against McDavid and Draisaitl. To them, they're all young and they're not expected to win, but they're trying and they go out and they're having a ton of fun and they're making plays out of it. It was really impressive to watch. But Celebrini, every time he's on the ice, it's not that you're trying to follow him and just keep watching him. It's that he's around the puck the entire shift and his feet don't stop moving. He's an incredible player to watch. And the fact that you're going to be able to watch him and McDavid ripping around the same ice tonight, pretty jealous that I'm not there in person for that.
Yeah, and then you throw in that Draisaitl guy, and that's not bad at all. So they've got...
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, you can throw in Bouchard, too. They've all had pretty good runs here.
Yeah, Bouchard is pretty elite. Like, I always chuckle, and I get fans. I don't know. There was a radio host in Vancouver put out a poll on who's better, Roenick or Bouchard, and it was like 80% Roenick, and I'm like, is this even like? Why would no offense, it's an embarrassing question. If you think Philip Roenick is even close to Evan Bouchard, you're like.
And that's just unfair to Hronek. Hronek's a really good player, but that's not a question.
It's like when Toronto tried to compare McDavid and Matthews. Stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe the gap's probably right now.
Well, I mean, you'd still happily take Matthews, even when he was scoring at the rate he was, but you're taking McDavid 100% of the time.
Yeah, not even a question at all. The Oilers, as here we are, there's, just basically a week away from when the NHL finalizes before the Olympic break. So we got a week for trades. There's all the talk out of the Rangers. Obviously, they're sitting down Panarin. Sheng Peng, who's going to join us later, is that, San Jose's talked to him and he said that Panarin had agreed that he would sign an extension with the Sharks. Like, if I look at San Jose and I showed all those, like, I like Will Smith. He's a good player, but he's not on the level of Celebrini at all. Now he might become that later, but he's not even close there now. But San Jose really, he kind of needs a running mate, I think. And Panarin's older. Do you think that would be a good fit, or would you shy away if you were the Sharks to bring in Panarin?
For the Sharks specifically, I'm not a big fan of that move. I think that when you have a guy like a Celebrini, you need to surround him with workers too. Yeah, he needs to have a playmaker and he needs to have those skill guys, but watching San Jose play the other night, I just don't see Panarin in that system skating and working through forechecks. Like, again, Celebrini is much like Crosby. Like, yes, he's got that unbelievable skill and he can make plays, he can do all that, but he's going to grind. Like, he's going to go work in the corners. He's going to go work below the goal line. Panarin, to me, is someone that wants to stay on the outside more. Obviously, he's got unbelievable hands, so I can see the attraction to it. But to me, that's not the right player to bring in at this point for them.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that for sure.
Like, they're building such a good culture. Not saying that he's a bad culture guy, but you don't need to throw in that skill guy that doesn't always work at the top of his work rate.
Yeah. Who would be your choice in a week at Braden Point? And do you think that even if Braden Point isn't ready to start the Olympics, would you still bring him? Or would you say, what, we got guys who we know are 100% healthy, let's bring someone else?
I mean, that totally depends on how he's feeling and how he's moving and what they're saying for his timeline. Like, if it's, he's going to miss one game and he's going to be totally fine, then yeah, no problem. Bring him over. Canada's got more than enough help to get through a game. But if it's more of a question mark, and even if it's like 60-40 that you're like, yeah, he'll be fine, it's just too big of a tournament. It's too, especially with how long the NHL players have been out, you just can't mess with that. And I mean, I know why you're bringing up the question, and I'm not just saying it because I'm sitting here talking on Oilers radio, but I don't know how you don't take Zach Hyman. I understand some of the other players that are out there and are options, but Point is, he was supposed to play with McDavid, and they have good chemistry. They're good together. That if that's gone, why not go to the next best option that has chemistry? And it's not like one of those players that he's only good because of McDavid or any of those things. Like, he's shown he can do it by himself, but even if that was the case, he's put up an insane amount of goals over the last stretch here. And, I'm just still convinced if he wasn't hurt last year for the Four Nations, he would have been on that team. And there wouldn't even have been a discussion about him being on the team this year. But he's had 2 years or 2 bad luck injuries and have made or put him in this position. But I don't know how you don't go with Hyman out of it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Landon, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy it. We will talk to you again next week. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one.
There you go. That's Landon Ferraro. Joins us every Thursday. When we return, we will Jeff Jackin's doppelganger is in studio today, and so we'll talk to him. And it smells really fresh in here right now. I love it. We'll get to that more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy.
If you need it immediately with no overtime rates, If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment.
And every Sunday with the Edmonton Oil Kings at Rogers Place is a family fun Sunday.
Featuring a full concourse carnival with bouncy castles, face painting, and more.
Plus, a post-game player autograph session after every Edmonton Oil Kings Family Fun Sunday matchup.
The entertainment value is king size.
The best day at Rogers Place starts at $20 a seat at oilkings.ca.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you, Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
There's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You are on my lonely mind.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.244 game day on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It is the Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at playalberta.ca. And at the Scotties, Alberta rinks, Sturmey wins again. She's up to 6-1, and Skleric is 4-3. But she's got to win her next game for sure, and she might be. No, I don't think she can even. I don't think they can get in now. I think it's only going to be Sturmey as the top 3 will from each side will advance. So there you go. Anywho, the Oilers are taking on the San Jose Sharks tonight. Connor Ingram will start in goal. Oiler fans, Matthias Ekholm did skate this morning, and will be a game time decision. Chris Knobloch wouldn't confirm or deny that he is going to play tonight. And to get you ready for the game, it's Thirsty Thursday, as always, brought to you by Brook Liquor, the best selection in the city, bar none. If you're looking for cocktails, if you're looking for beer, if you're looking for wine, if you're looking for non-alcoholic beverages, any type. They got it all. 2 locations, southeast side on 92nd Ave, 50th Street, and then, of course, the original location, St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue. And we must got a lot of really good stuff in here today, because we got the double whammy, Steve and Jeff. I'm kidding, not Jeff. David Owens, of course. I mentioned it the other day. I said, you look a lot like Jeff Jackson. I actually remember, and I showed Jeff Jackson pictures. He's just like, oh my God, it does look like me. And you had a lot of people. You went to the Oilers game.
Yeah, so I was at the game on Saturday night, and the first guy, it started. He was right behind us. We were section 101 down 14th row or something like that. And at the end of the second period, this guy's like, okay, I have to ask, are you Jeff Jackson? I've been waiting for 2 periods to ask you. And then I went downstairs, and another person came up and asked. And at the end of the game, another person came up to me downstairs and told me that, I looked, my God, you look like. So anyways, I'm going to be at the game tonight, everybody. I'm not Jeff Jackson, but if you want to come ask me any questions about the Oilers, I'll give you my answer.
Sure, yeah. There you go. Well, when you put the glasses on, then it's really similar.
Totally, absolutely.
Like so we might have to get a Jackson specialty beer here or something like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Have some fun with it. So what do we got you and Steven here today. So what are we doing?
Yeah, you got us both here today because we're going big here today. We've got, dry January is just about over, and lots of people will be rejoicing in that, and including the restaurants, bars, and retailers out there, and so we've got some big beers here, and so then you did 2 of us, some heavy lifting, so you need 2 of us here today, but we're starting at 10%, and I think we end up at about 19% today.
Oh my God,
that's right,
all double digits.
Yeah, okay, going big here. So I'm gonna let Steven do, he is the expert on most of these, and I'll just chirp in like the Jeff Jackson of the group.
Yeah, the Burdock Triple Ducks.
The Triple Ducks.
The Triple IPA.
Yeah, so these are definitely beers meant to share. So let's crack them open. So Burdock, they're out of Toronto, and they're an amazing brewery. They're actually more well known for their more nuanced, lower ABV beers. They do a lot of sort of wine beer hybrids and things, but this Duck series really lets them flex their IPA muscles.
This is really good.
Yeah. So they have Ducks, which is the original IPA. Then they have Double Ducks, and the one we have is Triple Ducks. So
it's extra strong, but it doesn't taste strong.
No, like you just smell it. As soon as I cracked it open, it just like filled the studio. You could just smell like the pineapple and mango, tropical fruit. It's all the different hops that they use, right? And they dry hop it, so they add the hops later on in the brewing process. So you get that huge hoppy tropical fruit aroma. And that's the thing with these. So a triple IPA isn't technically, it's not like an official beer style. Like if you go to a beer competition, there's no triple IPA category. It's more of like a marketing thing, but usually it's a big double IPA that's 10% ABV or higher, but it's just meant to be, even though it's really high alcohol, it's meant to just be smooth, easy drinking. Well, not easy drinking, I guess, but
it depends on them for sure. Like this one here is like all fruit in the front and party IPA in the back, right?
Yeah.
And it's but you'll have like an IPA, which are usually, they're usually 6 to 7%, and then the doubles are usually 8, 9, and then you have these triples, that are 10 plus. And this one here, I'm really impressed with this series here in particular, but this particular beer, so sometimes when you get to 10%, the alcohol really pushes forward, and this is not through this. It's sitting in the back. It's there, like there's some weight of it there, but it's really refreshing and clean still.
Now, I know that I'm assuming that you're not supposed to hunt and drink, but for the hunters, they're going to just like the can more than anything. Maybe the day that you go out mallard hunting, you don't get one, you can just have a beer and drown your sorrows with the 3 ducks.
That's right.
Right on the can.
That's right. You can always get at least 3 ducks a day.
Yeah, exactly. Guaranteed. How many did you get? Well, I had 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it might have been 9. Couldn't remember. All right. So now we have the Spain. Now, this might be Connor Halley's favorite can, because he loves that little white bunny. I don't even know which one it is, but the quadruple IPA from Flying Monkey. It's the Space Age Sunshine Orange Creamsicle. Right?
It's got everything.
But he likes the white bunny for anybody who's watching on YouTube. So
yeah,
and it's 11.6.
11.6. So yeah, we're staying in Ontario. This is Flying Monkeys out of Barrie, Ontario, and they're just, you can tell by the can, they're kind of off the wall. They're adventurous. They like to experiment. So we started with the triple IPA. This is their quadruple IPA, and it's brewed with they have orange juice concentrate in there, a little bit of vanilla, some orange peel. So this one, like you notice, the biggest difference for me is the mouthfeel. You can really feel that carbonation right off the bat, and it's a little, even that 11.6%, that booziness starts to shine through a little bit more. Like on the nose, to me, it smells total creamsicle. You have the orange and the vanilla, a little sweet. But yeah, on the palate,
got a little delayed kind of taste, the delayed aftertaste.
And I think that's where those IPA, those hops are coming in, and that high alcohol content, and that's what you're getting the delayed part of it from. But if you recall, we did a creamsicle beer earlier in the year.
Oh, buddy, I got the green one. I bought those. I got them in my fridge. I love it.
Right?
It's creamsicle sour.
Creamsicle sour,
yeah. Yes.
And those are fantastic.
Yes,
and,
they are.
And so if you think about that flavor that you got off, that was amazing. You can find it in this right away too. It's it is there.
Yeah,
but it's just a bigger, richer mouthfeel to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different style. The first one, the Triple Duck's more a New England style, so that hazy, juicy. Whereas this one has a little bit more of that West Coast sort of piney, hoppy, resinous character to it.
And so now we're getting into so this is 10.7 extra strong. The Baltic Porter. I've become a big fan of porters. Beers. I like them. The bottle with the orange. Now I know that's a collector's item with one of the whiskeys, right? Sometimes where they dip it in, and it covers like almost the whole neck of the bottle. This one's kind of a half. I don't know if they're trying to go with the same thing there or not, but
they got the wax top there.
Wax top.
So this is from Cabin Brewing, which is a local Alberta brewery, one of our favorite breweries. They make some of our top selling beer.
So do they have 6 chapters? Is this like the 6th chapter?
So they do. They're actually on chapter 7 now. So every year they release an anniversary beer. It's the different chapters of the cabin story. So this is last year's version, which is a Baltic Porter. I think one of the reasons we wanted to choose this one too, because I know we've had a Baltic Porter before and you loved it. And it's technically a lager, because they use lager yeast. It's fermented at cooler temperatures, so you get a little bit of crispness to it. But this one was aged for over a year in bourbon barrels that used to also hold maple syrup.
You can tell there's a little maple. That's what I was going to ask you. There's some maple in there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So a much richer, darker style than what we started off with, but you get a lot of complexity there from the barrels.
It kind of tastes creamy to me, and I like that.
100%. It's that dark chocolate and fig, toffee.
That's a very tasty beer, right? Like there's lots of flavor in it.
This is like
chapter
dessert,
6. Like
dessert attitude, right?
Yeah, I could see a lot of people like you sit down. Maybe you're watching the game tonight, so you stop at Sherbrooke on your way home, and you just have one. Like these aren't beers where you're not taking these out where you're going on a golf tournament, you're crushing 10. These are ones where you want to sit there, right? You sit back, relax. That's a good end of the night if you just want to have
end
one.
of the night, absolutely. And I also recommend that you take this out of the fridge and let it sit for a while before you serve it. Let it warm up a little bit, and then serve it in a snifter or something you can hold, in the cup of your hand. So you can also sort of warm it as it goes, because it's going to continue to evolve and develop as you're tasting it, and just get richer and richer and fuller and flavor, all those flavors.
Yeah, and I like when the carbonation on this sort of style dies down a little bit too.
There's not much on it,
like when you're about halfway through, you get like just a smoother texture, and it's just it's fantastic.
So now this label is, what is this? Upside down Fuego, Luna and Fuego, or what? Did they put the label on upside down on purpose?
I think if you drink enough of them, you'll actually start to see it the right way.
What the hell are they doing here? This thing is upside down. That was a mistake or what?
Freshly delivered to us today by Cabin. Actually, it is a mistake.
It is a mistake.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, all right. So
it's not supposed to be upside down.
Somebody put it on upside down.
Yeah.
Somebody's in trouble. Somebody was drinking a
a
little too much chapter 6 when they were putting on the logo.
That's right.
Exactly. So Luna and Fuego, another one from Cabin. This is an imperial stout now, so we've veered away from the Baltic Porter. This is also aged in barrels, but this one's aged in cognac barrels, and it also has additions of, there's 3 different peppers in there. There's ancho, guajillo, and chipotle peppers, and also cocoa. They're kind of going for a Mexican hot chocolate sort of vibe to it. So you get like a lot of sweetness from the cocoa. You get some sweetness, but some heat, some brightness from the peppers. Oh wow, I haven't tasted it.
That's a chocolate beverage.
That's like dessert. Yeah. Oh yeah, the heat on the back end.
The heat on the back end of that.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like spicy chocolate.
It's like spicy chocolate, yeah.
Very unique.
Yeah, so there's been a few beers in this sort of style and there's cinnamon added to it as well. You might taste the cinnamon spice. I'm partial to that sort of style. That's one of my go-tos. We did a collab beer years ago now with another brewery out of Calgary, and it's the same sort of style. It's a big imperial stout with cinnamon. We added apple cinnamon Cheerios to that one as well. Right. So we went wild with it. We actually still have some cans.
We still have some cans. The other aging really nicely, actually.
Yeah. So I'm partial to that style with all the spices and the cinnamon and the sweetness, and it's I think it's delicious.
And I think that's something to note too, Stephen, with a couple of these ones here.
It's still hot in my throat. God, like a little bit, like
some of that water.
But I'm a softie for spice. So
That's right,
anybody
that's right.
out there, don't worry, it's not that hot. It's just softy over here. So,
But some of these are absolutely, put them in your cellar and age them for a little bit, and they'll develop a little bit further as you go.
Really? Eh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of them 10+ years you could age them.
Yeah,
and all the flavors just mellow and
like if you
melt
want
together.
to, like honest, what's cool about this, if you're not a wine person but you want to try different flavors, this is how you can do it now in the beer industry. I've noticed, right? Like you can come with different things. Someone comes over here, I'll try this. Like, hey, it's a big enough bottle. You have 4 guys. You're like, I don't want to try a whole glass because what if I don't like it? Right. So you split it up to between 2 or 3 of you and you just see if you like it or
Totally. And there's there's so much diversity in beer too. Like you have different red wine varietals. You'll kind of notice some subtle differences and things like that. Sometimes there's bigger differences, but with beer, like look where we started and where we're at now, it's just night and day. So
and now we're into the French one, La Trappe.
So these they were originally a French monastery, but they moved to the Netherlands in the late 19th century. So this is one of those Trappist breweries. So the authentic Trappist breweries. I know we mentioned it on previous episodes, but these are beers brewed in monasteries by monks, and most of the money just goes to help support their way of life. It's not really a for-profit sort of business.
It's charity and monastery
and help sustain themselves. So it's one of the few Trappist. There's 2 breweries now in the Netherlands that are Trappist.
That is one of the tastiest beers that I can recall having. I like the look of it. It's a little bit orangey almost. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like kind of a golden amber.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm also finding
almost like a little orange to it.
And I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm finding that it's really mellowing out the leftover spice that was in my mouth.
Yes.
And it almost like it's taming it down. It's really balancing that out, and it's really bringing back the palate from there.
Like honestly, we've had a lot of beers like that is one of my most tasty, flavorful beers we've had.
It is. Yeah. It's world class.
That is
it is world class.
Yeah, it's something that I feel like we take for granted in Alberta, especially. We get so many of these world class beers from around the world that are truly like they're pretty highly sought after anywhere else you go in the world, and we just freely have them on our shelves all the time, and they're like the pinnacle of what brewing is.
Honestly, any beer consumer out there, you might want to try. Just go and ask for La Trappe.
La Trappe, the quad.
I always recommend trying one bottle first.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's going to have different tastes. Just because I like it doesn't mean you're going to like it. But
and again, this is a beautiful beer to be in a chalice or a snifter or something like that. You can just take your time with and enjoy, because the aromas, the flavors. You want to romanticize a little bit. And it's a beautiful piece.
And then lastly, we have Black Tuesday. 19%?
19.1. The Black Tuesday.
Man.
It's like doing a shooter almost.
It is. So this is you are supposed to drink this more like a liqueur for sure. So this is it's out of the States, out of Orange County, the brewery.
Powerful smell.
Yeah, it's an iconic beer. It was one of the
Black Tuesday.
Yeah, one of the pioneers for making these really strong imperial stouts that are bourbon barrel aged. That really took especially in the early 2000s, a lot of US breweries really mastered this style, but the Black Tuesday is kind of one of the forerunners and one of the pioneers in this. And it's 19.1%. It's decadent.
It doesn't taste
like alcohol.
No.
I know. I was just.
Is there too much in here that now I'm not tasting it? Have we crossed the line?
That's what's
honestly
the beauty thing.
I was expecting this one to be like, but there's nothing.
And this is another. It's always a big event in California whenever it's because they release it once a year. This is the 2025 vintage.
Oh my god!
It's always a lineup.
It's incredibly
outside the brewery, and this is, like I said, it drinks more like a liqueur, really. And this is one you want to split open. Thankfully, they went to the smaller bottles this year. We used to get them in the big 750 mils, which were very dangerous. But now, smaller bottles.
19%. Even it's like you got 3 beers in one here.
Yeah, you could share it with.
You're not crushing 3 of those. Well, I guess you could, but you'd be a sideways puddle.
I mean, I think drinking one of these, it's like drinking it's drinking a full bottle of port, essentially, or a really high alcohol wine. By yourself.
Yeah, totally.
and
drinking
it down.
It's totally meant to be drank that way. Like think of it more as a wine or a port, or like there's so much complexity to it. There's so much depth.
Incredibly well
richness,
balanced,
but still drinkable. Like it's not. You would think 19% bourbon barrel.
Yeah, like I was thinking it was going to be like I'm drinking a scotch or something. And it's nothing. Like there's very little alcoholic flavor at all.
Yeah, the perfect.
Really nice viscosity to the mouthfeel to it too, right? It's not as thick as I thought it might be as well. This is the first time I've had the pleasure of trying this, and I'm also equally as impressed and shocked that it wasn't a bigger, thicker, or bigger alcohol boom on it. But it's just so well balanced in through there.
Well, it's a very good wide range of what we tasted today. So again, get down to Sherbrooke where you could. But honestly, if I'm picking one, I'm taking La Trappe today.
That's an excellent pick.
La Trappe,
great pick.
Fantastic for all of you gents and ladies who consider yourself a little bit of a beer connoisseur. You might want to try it. Ask for La Trappe. Well, it's the Trappiste quadruple.
The quadruple. We have the Tripel as well.
Oh, you have the Tripel?
So two different styles. Yeah.
Is the Tripel as good as the quadruple?
It is. It's a whole different style. More,
okay.
Yeah, it's like a golden color.
So get the Trappe, but get the get the quadruple.
Get both and see which
get
one.
Them both.
Okay,
yeah,
I like it. There you go. I like it.
That's right,
fellas. Have yourself a good one. Who's getting a hat trick tonight?
Oh, right. It's got. It's gonna be another defenseman.
That'd be unreal.
That's right. It would totally be unreal.
Zach Hyman. I'll say it.
Zach Hyman.
hat trick.
Zach Hyman. Yeah. Well, Drysdale hasn't put too many in the net lately, isn't it?
That's true. He's actually hasn't ripped a one-timer in a while.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe he's due. Maybe he is due. We shall.
He was all fun and games in the interviews today.
Yeah, he's all excited. Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks for coming in.
Right on. Thanks, Jason.
There you go. It's Stephen and our stunt double of Jeff Jackson, David Owens, joining us from Sherbrooke Liquor. Let's get to the con man sitting over there patiently waiting to see what he can try. Connor Halley joins us here in a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca.
It is game days. The Edmonton Oilers hosting Macklin Celebrini and the San Jose Sharks down at Rogers Place. Puck drop in this one set for just after 7 o'clock. We'll have pregame coverage coming your way at 6 with Andrew Walker. Elsewhere around the league, 14 games, including the Flyers and the Bruins. Sabres host the Kings. Avalanche head to Montreal. Lightning host the Jets. Blackhawks taking on the Penguins. Caps in Detroit. Wild host the Flames. Blues taking on the Panthers. Ducks in Vancouver. And the Leafs travel to Seattle. In the association, Timberwolves will host the Thunder at 7:30. You've also got the Hornets and the Mavs, Bulls up against the Heat, the Rockets in Atlanta, and the Wizards taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. In the CFL, the Edmonton Elks have signed wide receiver Austin Mack to a 2-year contract. The 28-year-old had 48 catches for 674 yards, 2 scores in 12 games last season. They also re-signed defensive lineman Jared Brinkman through the 2027 season. Last year with the Green and Gold, Brinkman had career highs in games played. Defensive tackles also had 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss. And in the PWHL lone game has New York hosting Montreal at 5. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Terry Ryan. We'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and be joined by General Manager of the Edmonton Elks, Ed Hervey. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat,
call Legacy, call Legacy.
If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC.
Call Legacy, call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
Jeff Jackson,
A
David
pizza
Owens
from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know
let's
what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price.
Connor.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs
Game
every
day on
Saturday
Sports
morning at
1440.
10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at Cantork.com.
Well,
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, and neuropathy and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through a busy Thursday afternoon. How are you? Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hey, I know school got out early today. Some of you, we had a few guys wheeling out of the media room quickly because they forgot it was early dismissal for their kids. Hopefully that wasn't you. Hopefully that wasn't you and all the young rodents, and I say that in a loving way, got home safe and sound. Today, it is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And we have a few options for you tonight. In fact, we got the Connor Halley special, who is called a Matt Savoy goal. Nice. We have a big... There's 15 games in NHL, so we have a big NHL parlay. A few teams we think could win. Of course, you got McDavid and the Oilers, and then we got a few guys getting points. I should have put a defenseman in, but I don't know. Like, they got 8 goals in the last 2 games. Can that streak continue? I don't know. That would seem like maybe a bit much. We'll see. As we go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical. The most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta. 4 divisions and project service testing and ultrasonic. That's what they got it all at, and solar at actionelectrical.net. As we welcome in Terry Ryan, former NHLer, of course, stars as Hitch on Shores. He was just in town. And TR, I'm pretty disappointed that somehow, some way, you didn't distract Struddy on the shootout, because now we're going to have to listen for a decade how he's 2 for 2 in the shootout. So I'm going to blame you.
Well, it was a nice shot. I got to say, it was a nice shot. And I whiffed on my breakaway the night before in Calgary. Hey, you know, all in all, it was a good moment. I was happy for Struds. All the fans got what they came out to see. If all those alumni didn't come out and, you know, volunteer to play against us, I don't think it would have been as electric of an evening.
Let's go to what's your thoughts on what's Jack Roslovic? Would you sign him to an extension, or would you wait to see what he does in the playoffs?
Oh boy, that's a good question. And remember, the last 5 days I'd be kind of foggy on whatever's happened. Although I know he's been sniping. Ooh, what would I do? I think a lot of people make impulsive decisions today, and there's no reason to do it till after. So I think I'd wait and see what happens in the playoffs. Yeah, why not? You're seeing it's a good sample size so far, and we know that he's been a good player in the past. But you're asking me, and I would just feel a little bit more comfortable after I see more, especially in the most important time of the year.
Yeah. I look at Roslovic, and I've liked this game. I've had no issues with Jack Roslovic. He's not a center. That's the one thing, and he got to play center for a while, and I think that might have, taken him a little bit out of his comfort zone. I just think he's better as a winger, which is rare for a guy who's as good of a skater he is. I just think he's better as a winger. Maybe he feels more comfortable as a winger. You played, like some guys are better as a winger, some guys are better as a center. It's just how it is. And if you try to put him somewhere else, the old square peg in a round hole doesn't work. And I think Roslovic, I'd like to see him now. Like, hey, he's got a rookie center ice, right? Like Roslovic's not a driver of a line, because I hate that term, because there's very few guys in the NHL. You need different players to make a line go. I think that line can be okay, because they're not going to have to face a ton of the top quality competition. But I think Roslovic, for me, a lot of his success, and can he help you in the playoffs? And it's not just the playoffs. And he doesn't need to score 6 goals in 12 games, right? But he needs to score at a much higher rate than he did early. Now, he had 2 goals in 16 games for the Rangers. If you're playing top 6, that's not good enough. He had 1 goal in 9 games for the Hurricanes. Not good enough. It just isn't, right? Like you can find guys at $2 million to do that in the playoffs. Yeah. So that's why, for me, I'd probably err on the side of, let's see how it, and you know what? Maybe he plays great, rings 6 goal posts and only ends up with 2 goals, but you see how he plays. That's, to me, what I'd wait for. There's no rush. I think Roslovic likes it here in Edmonton. No one else can negotiate with him until after the playoffs. So why not use the advantage of time until then?
Exactly. And to point out what you said earlier, yeah, I know a lot of people look, and if someone's a great skater, they just assume because of that, and they play forward, that center's the best fit. But no, I wasn't a great skater, the opposite of a great skater. But I started at center my whole life till I got to the Western League, and then realized, okay, this guy at center here, Damon Lankow, he's a better skater than I am. He's a better face-off guy than I am. And I got really used to and I liked wing. So for the rest of my life, of course it happened. Whenever you're forward and there's injuries on any team you're on in pro, you'll get asked to go center at certain times. So I played in the American League, I don't know, a couple of stints, 5 or 10 games. And again, I don't know. There's just something about when you're locked into a position. For me, I was a left winger, and I did everything I could every day to get better at that. For me, a lot of it was getting the puck, the breakout passes off the wall, or how am I going to get it out? You got to be strong on the puck. Those things I worked on, wraparounds, things. And you get to know, and I know you're a winger, and usually, of course, when you get back, your job would be to watch that point man. Now, there's all different variations of defense. And, of course, if you're the first guy back and having played center, that changes, right? It changes a few times a game. But I'm just saying that most players that I played with that are wingers are more comfortable on the wing, or you just would have seen it, especially in skaters like that. It's been tried before. So I think, like you, that he's probably more comfortable on wing. I haven't heard any quotes. I haven't heard him talk about it, but that's what I would think. And second of all, exactly. It's not always hockey DB. It's not always stats. You'll see. Maybe you ring some posts. Maybe you play great defensively and you complement other people on your line and make them play better. But I just think, for me, the playoffs are, like, if you're going to do it in playoffs, now I'm sold. Now I'm sold. There's all kinds of players that will play differently in the playoffs. Some better, some worse. Some bring the same game every night. But like you said, like if you were, this is an example, I guess an extreme example, but if you were an alien from another planet, you came and you watched Zach Hyman, you would see, oh, he's great. Whoa. And he picks it up in the playoffs, right? That's an extreme example. But for me, yeah, if there's no rush, if there was a rush, you might have me. I think I'd still bet on Roslovic. I don't really know. So why not take that time and see?
Yeah, totally true. TR Macklin Celebrini is a young player in only his second season in the NHL, and he is killing it. He is fourth in the NHL in scoring. He's got 78 points. He has more points than the second and third scorers in San Jose combined, Smith and Toffoli. They have 71 points combined. He has 78. He's had 22 out of 51 games where he's had multi-point games, which is a really good percentage. The Sharks are 19-2-1 in those games. When he doesn't get 2 points, they're only 19-2. Like, so much relies on him, which is a lot to put on one young player. But that's to me what makes his season so remarkable. And there's still 30 games left, and I think the Sharks are going to fall out of it. Sorry to say, Sharks fans, I just don't think it's sustainable what they're doing as a team. But the fact that this guy just has all the pressure of the organization, he's probably young and naive enough and doesn't really think about it, doesn't look at it that way, nor should he. But the Sharks go how Celebrini goes, and that is very rare for a team.
It's really exciting because, I mean, I don't know. I'm not paid every day to analyze every statistic, but I remember Taylor Hall a few years ago having a weird kind of one-off season with, he got the MVP, and it was similar. He had like 90 points. The next guy had like 50 or something on New Jersey. But this is even, for me, if you want to use the term exciting, or, as far as what we anticipate in the future, I mean, the sky's the limit because this guy's 19 years old. And of course, now it's not like, and the supporting cast isn't quite, a few years ago, we'd be like, they got nothing. I don't know, man. Toffoli's an older guy, I know, but he's doing all right. Will Smith's really exciting to watch. Again, but these guys have 30-odd points. So, I mean, I know the kid, for me, there might be a little bit of pressure. I don't know. There's more pressure, I think, if you're like, it may be in 2 years if he's doing this and they're supposed to make the playoffs, and now like, to me, there's more pressure on, guys like, thrown out an Austin Matthews, that there's pressure. You want to see pressure in the game. Now, he came into the league the same sort of way. His second or third year, Toronto didn't really make it, and they did. I think he's been in the playoffs every year. But when he was younger, he came in first overall, same sort of thing. But you gave a free pass. But now it's like, you better get us there. With Celebrini, I think so much magic is happening so early. And I think even if you're a San Jose fan, this is all bonus, right? This is bonus play. A year ago, you never would have assumed this. 2 years ago, for surely you wouldn't. And Celebrini came in with a little bit of hype, but I don't think the kind that, would lead to this. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world now as a teenager. You could make that argument that he's the MVP, given this, even if he doesn't win the scoring. Now, I would think, again, I got all confidence in the guy, but I think now as we're getting ready for the playoffs, and McDavid and Draisaitl, McKinnon, and these guys are Kucherov, I guess, when they're turning it on and they've been there before, and they'll probably pick it up where this is kind of new for Macklin. So forgive me for not having confidence. I just don't think he probably right now. I think you could make a case that he is the MVP, but there's a lot of year. You know what I mean? There's a lot of year left. So I don't want to take away from the kid. I just mean I don't know that this is going to keep up. But he's made a statement, very unique statement that hasn't been made much in the last decade. I tell you that.
Yeah, he's off to an unreal start. And Leon Draisaitl talked about it. The thing about his game that impresses him the most, and he admitted he doesn't watch a ton of Sharks games, but when he watches, he goes, Celebrini's awareness in the defensive zone as a young player, which is the hardest thing for any offensive guy. You're an offensive player. Like, you're naturally, when the puck's in the defensive zone, most high-end offensive players are thinking, if I get it, how can I score? Even though they're 200 feet from it, that's just how they're wired. That's how they think. I see it in my U13 team, right? Like, you want to reach in rather than take an extra stride to get the puck. You're like, yeah, but if I tip it, now I got a 2-on-1, right? Like, that's just how you're wired. And I get it. So it's hard to learn that. But the fact that Celebrini at his age has it is impressive.
It is. And I think, there you go. Someone said, or maybe earlier you alluded to, when he gets a point or two, I think it was when he gets 2 points, they win most games. But I think that'd be true all over the league. I would challenge you to tell me when because that's implying you get a 2-0 lead already. That's like saying when Chicago are up 2-0, they usually win. Of course. But the stat, so that doesn't impress me. What impresses me is the plus minus when he's out there. Because there you go. Now, plus minus itself isn't always a great indicator, but it is when you're on this very team, and when you're on the ice, your team is way plus, and when you're not on the ice, they're not. And of course, that directly relates to your defensive play. So, and when you watch him, that's the thing. And you don't see him. I watched the whole game the other night in Vancouver, but he, it's his stick work. It's in his zone. He often get, like when a goalie gives you the side, a good goalie will give you something to shoot at and then take it away. I find he does that a lot down low. It'll look like he's going one way, and then last minute he'll outthink you. He'll outwork you. He'll make you turn it over. It doesn't work every time, but he's at it like 20 times a game, and 2 or 3 times it'll pop loose. Someone will get free. And over the course of the year, over the course of 82, 84 games, that happens a lot. And the thing is that that stands out to me is that the age he's at, he looks like a wily veteran in his own zone. If I never watched him play offense at all, which is basically his biggest draw, I would say, whoa, man, this guy reminds me. There was a guy I used to play with in Montreal, and we would have all forgotten about him now. His name was Marc Bureau, and he was there for faceoffs, and he was there for defense. And that's what I noticed. I'm like, I learned to be a better defensive player just watching him out there in his own zone. And he was like 38 years old or something. I don't know. He seemed 50. I don't really know. I haven't heard his name before or since, but I just noticed that because he was a big star. But Celebrini has that. He has that innate instinct that like people that get up there and just work on their defensive game, like he's as good or better than that as a 19-year-old. And to me, that's what's the most exciting if I'm a San Jose Sharks fan, is the complexity and completeness of his game already. I mean, the sky's the limit. Wherever that can go, I mean, I'd be real excited if I was a Sharks fan.
Quick break. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan. We'll be joined by the GM of the Edmonton Elks. Made a few signings today. One guy keeping in the mix, one guy bringing in as a free agent. And we're days away from bonuses being due in the CFL, but also kind of setting up for free agency coming up in a few weeks. So we'll get to Ed Hervey next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping
frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Hey, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca. And let's get to work for you.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Game day continues on. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having an awesome day. Big day for the green and gold as well in the CFL, because they made a few moves. Of course, keeping Jared Brinkman in-house, extend him for another 2 seasons. And Brinkman, I think, when healthy, had a really good season for the green and gold. He's not gonna a guy who's gonna put up huge sack numbers or anything. I don't think that's role. I don't think that's his role on the D line. But he can be a disruptor and can take on some double teams. Good against the run. That's kind of his main thing. You get your outside guys, and away you go. And then the big news for the Elks, I think they needed a go-to receiver, and their general manager went out and got one. Austin Mack, who was under contract and mutually agreed to part ways with Montreal, and that allowed the Elks to sign him to a 2-year deal. Him and Cody Fajardo have chemistry from their time in Montreal, and I think Ed, as a receiver, knows the importance of that. When your quarterback trusts you as a wide receiver, man, you automatically get more balls, and sometimes the quarterback will maybe take more chances. And if there's one thing with Cody Fajardo for me, I'd like to see him throw a few more 50-50 balls. Sometimes I felt like there would be a route that was open. It might be a tight window, but I'd like him to throw a few more tight window balls. And maybe with a guy like Mac that he has a lot of chemistry with, maybe that will happen. So let's get to the Elks report now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. As the GM of the Elks, Ed Hervey, joins us again. Ed, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good. What do you make of my thoughts on Mac and how, can help Fajardo, helps your team? Like, obviously you need more than just one go-to receiver, but when you have one go-to guy and then you have good supporting cast, Dunbar and others, it just makes your group way better.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about the wide receiver position, and I've heard your dialogue coming in, and you hit a lot of points that are consistent to our beliefs here. Is that you have a quarterback, you want him to have a receiving core, obviously, that he could be comfortable with, but sometimes you have to start with one guy, and and everyone else comes along. Clearly, these two have a history together, and we like big, physical, athletic wide receivers with wide catch radius. So I mean, there's an opportunity for big play potential. I think for us, it's also just having a veteran in the room that has done it at a high level, and more importantly, that just can kind of calm the room, so to speak. We have a lot of young guys that are trying to find their way and have shown flashes of consistency, but it never hurts to add a talented veteran player to the room and one that that we're familiar with as far as the league is concerned, that has some familiarity with the offense, and as you mentioned earlier, a history with the guy throwing the football.
Ed, for Elks fans who haven't seen Mac, what's his best attributes as a receiver?
Well, again, as I mentioned, I think, first and foremost, the size and frame. We want big receivers here. Those guys have the ability to shield defenders and, win body position battles. I think his catch radius, his ability to make plays, on throws that are, somewhat, 50-50, as you would say. He's been very good on contested catches, and above everything else, sometimes you just need someone that you can rely on second down, and I think that's kind of how it's all summed up, right? He knows how to get open. He's savvy. He can play outside and inside, but I think of everything that we're looking for is just some reliable production on second down, and we want someone that's going to catch the ball, run upfield, get the ball, get first downs for us. And then, as you mentioned earlier, when there's an opportunity to throw the ball up, we want more guys like that can do those things. So, we believe that Austin gives us that, and his desire for a fresh start and our need to add some veteran presence to the room seems like a perfect opportunity to bring both sides together.
TR?
Ed, what are your thoughts on Coach Killam in year one and his progression?
I mean, I thought he did a really good job. I mean, he saw the guys play hard. Like the biggest thing with coaches is that are the players responding, right? I think coaches know what they're doing. Their coaching staff, they manage their staff well. We see improvement throughout the season. You've seen all those things. There's a lot of positives there, and Mark will tell you, things he wants to work on for next year. And I think in year two, it's always a year that having seen everything, everything slows down. But when you're talking about assessing the coach, I think the biggest factor is when you watch how hard the team plays and has played all season, even to the last game when we had really nothing to play for as far as playoffs, but opportunity. I think that's how you measure the team's the leadership of the team from the head coach's position. And I think that if sky's the limit for us and where we're headed this year. I think now that we have a group of guys that have played together, we have continuity, and those guys know what to expect from coach. Again, this group will be able to carry his message, and that's the second part of it is the players are carrying the message of the head coach And those are the examples that let you know that we have the right guy at the helm.
Ed Hervey joins us, GM of the Green and Gold. Also, of course, you got Brinkman signed today, a 2-year extension through the 2027 season. Ed, some people, if you just look at statistics, might not be wowed by him, but I don't necessarily view it that way. I think like he plays a very important role on the team. We saw it, in the second half of the season. Your young outside guys started to get more involved. Well, what's Brinkman going to mean to your offensive line or defensive line, moving forward?
Well, again, Brinkman's not going to ever be a sexy, flashy stat guy, right? But if I put the tape on and you watch him play, he plays every down hard. He plays like his hair's on fire. He plays with maximum effort. He's a load on the inside. He makes it very difficult for us to be ran on. And, again, he also, he makes guys work. And if you leave him alone, he's more than capable of creating pressure. And, and he's an all-around good guy in our locker room, and the quality human being that he is, you want to have those guys around. We're still working on our consistency of our roster, guys who contribute in a big way on the field as well as off the field. But I would say that anyone who wants to take notice of what Brinkman does, just put on the tape and watch what happens. He is a load, and he is very difficult for offensive linemen. And trust me, at the end of games, the opponents know that they played a hard-fought game, and I'm sure when they know they're playing Brinkman coming in to the game, they know what they're going to get. They're going to get max effort for 4 quarters. So he's our type of guy here.
Ed, Tamari Fox missed much of the season due to injury last year. What's your expectations on potentially, is he a guy is he under number one, is he under contract for this year? And B, if he isn't, is he somebody you'd like to get under contract?
No, he's under contract. Okay. He's still under his option year, and yeah, it's unfortunate that he sustained the injury when he did, because he started to play well and started to get the feel for the CFL game. We have high expectations from him. Right? We feel like a lot of those interior defensive linemen that we had that had a chance to play showed, not only that they belong, but also improved with every week that they were on the field. And looking at it going into this year, you never want to your starters to get injured. And when your starters don't get injured, your young guys rarely get opportunities. And then you go into the next year, hoping that they gained experience in some ways from not playing. But in our case, you almost feel fortunate that with the injury, those guys got a chance to play, got some valuable playing time. And when we're watching them on film and actually evaluating them, we see the promise that our defensive line has moving forward. And again, having worked together for a year and the terminology and things that are going to be coached going into training camp this year, it's not foreign to them. So I'm excited about what the D-line could bring. I mean, Tamari coming back, it's going to be an opportunity for him to shake off rust, but also show why he's why he's here, and then above everything else, gives him a chance to really establish himself as in the competition on the interior defensive line.
You've already extended Noah Taylor as well as Brandon Barlow on your D line, and today, of course, Brinkman. Jonathan Kongbo, is that a guy that you think you'll be extending, or will he be going to free agency?
I think he's going to hit free agency. A lot of guys want to see the window. And the window is the opportunity for sometimes better opportunities, sometimes for more compensation, sometimes it sets a player's market. So those guys will have a chance to see and get a feel for what the interest level is for them, and then when the dust settles, you have a chance to see. But I don't necessarily anticipate a return. I think he'll probably be looking for a better opportunity with more opportunity to play, I would imagine.
Okay, what about Stephen Dunbar?
Yeah, I mean, there's another one, right? When we're looking at our receiving core, these are sometimes you got to make tough decisions that affect the guys that are on your team. I think when we look at our group and I look at our receiving core, obviously a signing like Austin Mack, puts a little bit of pressure on those veterans who were here prior. And our responsibility to this team and my responsibility to this roster is to make decisions that improve the roster. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily work out in favor of guys that are on, but he's a good player, and I'm sure that things will probably work out for him. But we need to improve the receiving core, and it doesn't necessarily count him out, but we're seriously looking at how we can improve the offense.
Okay, Ed Hervey, GM of the Elks, joins us. When you say your receiving core, Ed, and I know you played there, and you want a kind of a different mixture, a little bit of receivers, right? You need some speed guys, and you need some size, and lots of different things. When you look at your roster right now, just looking at the receiving core, and a guy who obviously got hurt last year, but Zach Mathis, who broke his tailbone on that weird fall, unfortunately. Are you expecting him back, and just what a difference he could be just with his size and speed downfield?
Yeah, I mean, we're hopeful that he can come back and contribute to the roster and do some things. I think with him, it's unfortunate that he did get injured because he was starting to look like he was comfortable with the offense, look comfortable playing. We expect him to come in and compete and play at a high level. We understand that he's working really hard, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him, healthy and excited. And now that he knows the offense, there's very little thinking out there. He can just go and play. And with his catch radius, and again, he's a big target and he's very talented. There's not many things he wouldn't be able to do with respect to catching the ball and doing things with the ball when he has it. It's just like everything, right? You got to stay healthy and be out there and be available. And we hope that the injury bug that hit him last year is out of his system, and he can come in and have a big year for us.
The other big one, of course, because it's I know it's closing in on bonus time for a few guys around the league, and one of those is trade forward. You got a few days left in that regard. Ed, have trade conversations happened there? When I look at Fajardo, contract restructure, what's kind of on the table with Ford?
Yeah, I think we're at that point where something's going to happen here. I would say within the next 48 hours we'll have an idea, and a decision is really made. I'm actually meeting with our group here after we get off the phone here, and we're going to just talk through some other scenarios and stuff. And but the reality is what the reality is, and our expectations is that we'll have a decision here in the next 24 to 48 hours on what's going on there.
So when it comes to a guy like Ford, if Ford, I can look at the history of the league, and I look at salary, and I think it's probably, it gets released and that happens. But the importance of a backup behind Cody Fajardo, Ed, are you comfortable with having a rookie backup, or would you like a backup with some experience?
I mean, I think that people will be excited to see Cole Snyder when he has a chance to play. This is a league where we always spend a lot of time talking about the vets, and then in recent years it's the backup quarterback that has also been gets a lot of attention. But there's also opportunities for some young guys to get chances to play, and you can only go by what's available to you, and then based on how we're constructing our roster. Cole Snyder's been in our offense for a year. We've had a chance to see, a lot of things that he's capable of doing and how special he is. I mean, he's the unknown with respect to actually playing, and he'll be an unknown to our fans as far as, familiarity, but we've had a chance to watch him from training camp all the way through, and it's just unfortunate that they didn't get a chance to put him in the game. This is the part where you kind of wish that that last game, that there was an opportunity to put him in the game, and I think that was what my biggest disappointment last season was. That last game was just the way he was not given that opportunity to show it.
What does Cole Snyder do best as a quarterback?
I think he's got touch. He can read he can read the offense. He's tough. He's got great touch down the field. He can push the ball down the field. His accuracy is there. I think his mobility is decent enough, to buy time. And and again, he understands the offense, and he's got that that it that you want from a young quarterback. Where it takes him. Obviously that comes with opportunity. That comes with just the opportunity to play. But he's done everything that we've asked him to do. It's just a matter of time before a young quarterback gets a chance to showcase and play. But again, the flip side of that is that we want Cody to stay healthy all year and play and see where it goes. So there's a balance in that. But in all fairness to Cole, I think it's just a matter of time before he gets a chance to show. And when he does, we hope that he makes the most of it. He's going to have opportunities during the preseason to do it as well.
Ed, always good to talk to you, man. We appreciate it. Is it safe to say that when free agency hits, offensive line would be an area you'd be looking at?
I mean, I think it's safe to say that, we're looking at the entire roster, anywhere we can improve, right? Obviously the offensive line has had its share of issues last year. And that is a big conversation that we've had all off season, that we'll be talking about that here shortly again, and trying to figure out the last little bits of what strategy we want to go into the communication window with. But there's other areas where there's opportunities to get better in the overall roster. So, but we're going to do what makes sense. I believe in that. I believe that some moves may not be flashy, but when you look at the grand scheme of what we're trying to accomplish, we're trying to build our team to compete for a championship, and clearly you have to protect the quarterback first in order to do that. So, I think that I can honestly tell you that we're not going to overlook the opportunities at the offensive line if they present themselves.
Ed, always good to talk to you, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Jay.
There you go. That is Ed Hervey, the GM of the Elks. So they get Austin Mack to come in. He's going to be the kind of their go-to guy at the receiver position. And I think Mathis, if he comes back, like everybody you were watching, Mathis' potential, Connor Halley, is very high because of his size and his range.
Yeah, and that's something you can always take advantage of, right? And I think Fajardo can utilize that for sure. If there's a chance and, you feel pressure, he's down there somewhere. Take advantage of your height, go get that ball high pointed. There was times where, I would have liked to see him be a little bit stronger. Those opportunities, go up and, really utilize it. But just another weapon to have. And yeah, he certainly has a ton of upside.
Quick break. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
The Brits Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more. Get up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Bowl Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
The Rock and Bowl Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
On the Rocks, YEG.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now. This is the time of year when so many people go to the new RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new right up until the time they leave the showroom. Then they're used. Just like every quality used RV on our lot, somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars less just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go, Rick?
It stays in our customers' pockets, Bob, because we sell those same RVs just a few years later. If it wasn't for new RV buyers, we'd be out of business. That's why we give thanks every year. You make it all possible.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. TR, quickly, your thought. We actually had a text coming in. Greg, I thought you guys talking about Daryl Sittler the other day in his 10-point game. Do you think players or even coaches today would even allow a guy to chase that record? Because it seems once you get up a few goals or a guy has 6 points, everybody pulls back the reins. And I agree 1,000%. I think it's hard to break because now, A, it's hard to do anyway. But B, if a guy gets to 5 or 6 points, all of a sudden, well, geez, now we play him less, we're winning, rather than saying, you know what, this is a special night. This could be history making. Let's go for it. They don't seem to have that approach. That's kind of how I see it, Cons. TR gone? Might be gone. So, did we lose him?
Should be there, but he's not coming through. So I'm with you, though. Like, how many times do you see that? Okay, we got him back.
There you go. TR, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Connor, and then I'll chime in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think just in that situation, and it might be like 5 or 6, that'd be something. I think that Oilers Blackhawks game with Sam Gagner was still competitive at that point, but you get to 8 goals, you're probably running away with it at that point. And then I think it stops right there. So, yeah, I feel like that's one of those records in sport that is going to be really tough to ever come near.
Yes. For me, I'm wondering, I guess I could just ask him. We do lots of events with Daryl Sittler and the Leafs alumni. But like, what was the circumstances? It would have been the same circumstances back then, no? If you're up 9-1, you're not going to put out all your best players. Like, what would be the difference now as opposed to then when it comes to that point of view, first of all? And second, I would think, like, you know, all those years, you look at Lemieux and Gretzky, the first two I would look at, they must have come close. Lemieux had a few 6-goal games. But, you know, everything would have to go right, and it would have to be the perfect storm, but it will be at some point, all the stars will align. Half the team will be kicked out because of a brawl. Someone will have to go out and play. Maybe their third goalie comes in. A few years ago, what if Gagne had 6 points going into the third period, and all of a sudden David Ayres comes in? Right? Something at some point will happen. I truly believe that someone will get 10 points in a game. It probably 1 in a million, but could be 2,055. But I do think it'll happen. I think it's achievable.
Well, I hope it happens. I love records, man. I love records be broken, people chase it. Like, I would love to watch a game and be like, what, this guy's got 8 points? And then I don't care which team it is. People would tune in to watch it to see, oh my God, is he going to get 9? Is he going to get 10? Like, that would be fantastic. Like, every time somebody tweets out, oh, no hit or perfect game through 7, I'm like, I'm tuning in. Right. And now perfect games have happened way more than 10 point games in NHL. So I understand it, but still, perfect games pretty damn hard to do. So I would love, like the crazy part about Sam Gagne's 8-point game is he had no points in the first period. He had 8 points.
No way.
Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had no points in the first period.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like what? Like, you know, and no offense to Sam Gagne, but if you look at the list of other guys that have 8 points, you're kind of like, Patrick Sundstrom, Sam Gagne, they don't really fit in with Lemieux and Gretzky's and other guys, guys who are 1,200, 1,300 point guys in the NHL, right? But still, on one given day, it just takes one guy to get red hot, right? And so, like, I would love to see it happen, right? Like, I would, like Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Kucherov, Draisaitl, like those guys have been the Pasternak, the top 5 guys really in this decade. It's not much debatable. Like, every year at the end of the year, you're like, okay, well, who's going to finish first? Is it McKinnon? Is it McDavid? Is it Draisaitl? Is it Kucherov? They've all finished first once, right? Pasternak's never done it, but they've all finished first once. So, they kind of rotate around 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how they go. But I would love to see it. It would be like Bouchard, what he did the other day. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And now it's happened a few times, but it hadn't happened in a long, long time.
I'd be interested to see if anybody's done it, though, in 3 periods. Like, maybe Gretzky got 6 points in the third period and then 4 in the first 2 of the next game. I'd really be surprised if it's never happened. I know it's a lot to ask, but you're talking about the history of hockey. So who knows? I do think it's coming. Maybe not this year. It'd be really interesting to compare all those stats. And then Sittler, I don't know, how many points did he get that year? Like, how much of his point total? Because people say, I was in another era. But I'm like, yeah, but what you're saying would imply that he's got the 300 points won the scoring that year. I'm willing to bet he had 70 or 80 points.
Well, he had
he
had 100 points in 1976, the year he had the 10-point game. And
so 1/10 of his points were in one game.
Yeah, it's still pretty crazy, isn't it? When you look at that. Yeah, it's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, he had 6 goals. He finished the season with 41 goals. He had 6 in one game.
Yes, right. Like, 1/10 of his point total came from one game. So you can say it was another era, but it's still relatively similar. It's very, very similar to the amount of points that go out over the course of the year. I mean, it was bonkers even for Sittler. It would have been bonkers for Cyclone Taylor, and it would have been bonkers for Wayne Gretzky or Bobby Orr. It's just all the stars aligned, and boom, here you go. Piece of hockey history.
Well, speaking of hockey history, Jimmy Harrison, as a member of the Alberta Oilers in the WHA in 72-73, did have
that was the year my dad played.
Yeah, and he had a 10-point game for the Alberta Oilers that year. Right. And he finished the season with 86 points. So he had 10 points in one game. And now he still was 86 points in 66 games, so he's still over a point a game player in all the other games combined. But still, and I know it's the WHA, and we've had lots of texts. And I think it's a fair question. Hey, Gregor, the ABA and the other ones, the NBA has put them into the record book. Do you think the WHA stats should ever be added to the NHL record book?
I don't think they should be at. Well, yeah, on their own.
As part, yeah, but it's guys like Bobby Hall, right? So Bobby Hall, if you look at his career, right, he had 903 goals in his career in North America between the NHL and the WHA. And so they're saying if you combined it, his career would then read 1,474 games, 913 goals, actually, not 903, 913 goals, and he would have 1,808 points if you added the two together.
I think it's intriguing, and you do exactly that. You put a note at the end. This is what they had combined. This is WHA. This is NHL. It's just like the major leagues. They're talking about Cooperstown. I have a whole section on the guys who did juice. Now, here you go. Whatever you want to say, this is what Barry Bonds did. He was in this lawsuit with Roger Clemens, Alex Rodriguez, and a bunch more. Take from it what you will, but these were their stats. I think it should be in there. The WHA, I'll always stand up for my dad. My dad played 1 year in the WHA, and he led the league in shorthanded goals. And in the 80s, with 6, and in the 80s, Stan Fischler had the hockey encyclopedia, and that was included. It wasn't included as if he did it in the NHL. It just, he came in with a piece, and he said, now because of the history and the competition and the fact that the NHL absorbed these teams, then we're going to include these stats. And he just included them at the end, but he didn't combine them with the NHL. I think that would be a mistake.
Okay. Awesome. Let's take a quick break. When we return, Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. Shen Peng will join us from San Jose. Artemi Panarin to the Sharks. The discussions are being had. Panarin, according to Shen in his report, said that Panarin would sign a contract extension with the Sharks. So we'll see. Of course, Panarin will sit out a second straight game tonight for the New York Rangers as they are trying to finalize a trade. Is it the Sharks? Is it the Ducks? Is it the Islanders? Probably not the Islanders, but God, that'd be awesome. Let's get to the Con Man, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Tires, oil changes, vehicle repairs. They do it all. Your one-stop shop to keep your vehicle on the road. FountainTire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The game day with the Edmonton Oilers hosting the San Jose Sharks down at Rogers Place. Pucks are up set for 7. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro gets going at 6 here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, you got the Flyers taking on the Bruins. Sabres host the Kings. Avs in Montreal. The Lightning will host the Jets. Islanders and Rangers once again. Kings host the Mammoth. Capitals in Detroit. Flames travel to Minnesota. Canucks host the Ducks. And the Stars in Vegas. It all wraps up with the Kraken hosting the Maple Leafs just after 8 o'clock. In the association, you've got the Kings in Philly. Wizards host the Bucks. Hornets taking on the Mavericks. Suns taking on the Pistons. And the Thunder in Minnesota for a meeting with the Timberwolves. At the Scotties today, you had Canada getting past BC 9-8. Ontario falls to Nova Scotia 9-7. Manitoba over Saskatchewan 9-4. And the Northwest Territories gets past Quebec 5-7. In the CFL, the Edmonton Elks signing wide receiver Austin Max with a 2-year contract. The 28-year-old, 48 catches for 674 yards last season. 2 scores in 12 games played. They're also bringing back defensive lineman Jared Brinkman through the 2027 season. And in the PWHL, the lone game tonight has New York hosting Montreal at 5. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear Cam Pate's 2-minute warning, ask 5 questions, and preview tonight's Oilers-Sharks game with Shane Peng. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does, because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hey, Edmonton. Did you know a local Play Alberta winner
Thursday afternoon? How are you?
$500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province. There's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
40. Local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9. Check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Happy New Year from Metal Supermarkets. They'd like to thank you for making them your place to shop for metal and for quick, efficient precision cutting and metal bending. If your resolutions for 2026 include a new project, commercial or residential, they're here to help. And speaking of resolutions, I've taken up pickleball.
11-0. I win.
Great. Now I can nap.
It's best of 3.
Not in my kitchen, kid. Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At No Bull RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from No Bull RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 67 Camp Ready plans are available at No Bull right now.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
412. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor, Hallie. Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. Now we got I know we're a sports show and we try to keep it sports 99% of the time. But man, there are some days where I just feel like we need to we need more people to speak out like against how can you, why is treason suddenly okay? Right now, if you don't like the party that's in power for your country, that's fine. You can voice your opinion against them. That's great. You want to vote NDP, you want to vote Liberal, you want to vote Green, you want to vote PC. I don't really care. It's your opinion. Vote whatever you want on, right? Be respectful in the conversation. Awesome. But when you have groups now that are openly and admitting it publicly that they're meeting with leaders from other countries to try to take that, like, does that not fall right into the category of treason? Like, am I delusional on this? And our premier says nothing. Keeps bringing up Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau has nothing to do with today. He wasn't a very good leader. He's gone. Why are you bringing him up? Makes no sense. Like, just be a leader. God, we got no leadership. It's terrible. If it was a sports team for our provincial province, people would be freaking out. It's kind of interesting. People will rip on sports management more than they will provincial management. Kind of wild to me. Anywho, luckily, I guess we can talk sports because it's good. Jason Gregor, Connor Hallie with you. Speaking of sports, if we were talking like Cons, I know you're much more of an NFL fan than me, but is it safe to say that Emmanuel Acho is the worst NFL analyst going? Can you name one that's worse than him? Honestly. Did you see what he said? He go, why should Sanders listen to the new head coach? What has he won? He actually said that from a rookie who has won nothing.
Well, I mean, hey, Emmanuel Acho, as a Chargers fan, this goes way back. The hatred. It started with the Justin Herbert's a social media quarterback. Bolt fan, we hate him. But no, that's stupid. It's crazy. Like, what would you say to Andy Reid if you're Patrick Mahomes and he's coming in the second year as a starter? Well, what have you won? What have you done? Why would I listen to you? Pretty good coach. Like, you don't have to necessarily have played in the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl as a player for a young player to listen and trust him. Todd Monken has won 2 national championships as a coordinator with Georgia. How about that? It's pretty good. He's been a part of a guy who's had an MVP season with Lamar Jackson and, arguably could have won another one last year had it not been for Josh Allen. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's so many members of the media now, Gregor, and it started with a few certain shows where you're just doing it for clickbait. You're simply saying things to get a reaction. Do you believe it? Maybe if you're psycho, but that's just the way things are going. And to be honest with you, that's why I have personally tuned out to a lot of shows out there right now.
Yeah.
Like, I used to tune into PTI Around the Horn for good opinion backed by a bit like stats, things like that. And some of the shows we have out there right now are just like, who can make the craziest statement just to fire people up online? And he's cashed in on that. If you want to give him credit for something, he's found a way to do it. But yeah, I would say that there's probably the majority of things that he says I would disagree with.
Yeah, no, that is very, very valid. So just on a random out of nowhere NFL comment, that was the one that stuck with me. We got a lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, curious your thoughts on what Szymanski could be. I heard Dreisaitl's comments earlier today, and he said, quote, he's just a hockey player. He really understands his role. You think Szymanski could become a full-time third-line center? Ooh, Mike, that's an interesting question. It's hard. Like, I've seen him live in the NHL for one game. I saw him in the preseason. Like, being a consistent third-line center is hard. Right? Like, I would say, hey, if Szymanski could start next year as your fourth, like if you went into Cam and say, hey, we think Szymanski's our fourth-line center, great. And that's not a knock. Sean Horkoff started as a fourth-line center, worked his way up. So, you know what? Szymanski skates well enough to be a third-line center. I don't know if he has the other attributes. He's good on face-offs. So So that's good. But it's hard to project that, man. Obviously, Draisaitl thinks he could. So, now Draisaitl, did make a joke at the end. Hey, it's nice to talk some German in the room too. So he obviously, I think, is a big fan of it. But Leon Draisaitl, if you've ever noticed, like when they talk about young guys, they want to support them, but they're hard to impress them. Does that make sense? Right? With the veterans, they're like, we're support to support, but they're not easily impressed by rookies because they know how hard it is to play regularly in the NHL. And the fact that he was that complimentary, Szymanski, makes me go, maybe you're onto something here. Because he has a lot of the attributes that you would like for a third line center, right? Good in faceoffs, responsible defensively. And that's talking to Keith Gretzky and Colin Schock on the show multiple times. Szymanski really impressed him with just his natural instincts and commitment to the defensive zone. That's a key. Then you throw in, he's got the size, he's got the speed. So good things. Now, in today's game, like when you look at Florida's third line center when they won, they produced a lot of points. Now that was 1 year, but you need to have someone who's got some offensive potential. In the AHL, 28 points in 39 games, the majority of it at 5-on-5. That's a very good sign. So ideally for Edmonton, they would love it. And I think this is a big reason why people are like, why did they reclaim Noah Phil? Well, because they think Szymanski's better. And they've got other guys. You don't need Noah Philp really in your minor system at this point. If you think Szymanski's better, they're not both going to play. That's just a harsh reality. Like, I'm not sold that both Hudson and Howard are all good. If you already got Matt Savoy who's one, I think you could have one of the other young guys. I don't think they're both going to play. I not in the style of player that they are, in the role that they're going to have. I just don't think all three of them are going to be in your top 9. So I don't see one of them fitting in on your fourth line. So I'm not sure they're all going to play in Edmonton. I guess that should be my. Could they all three be in the NHL? Yes. Could all three be in the NHL in Edmonton? No. I would be surprised on that. So we'll see where that goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Boys, if Leon works with him, he should be good. Well, yeah, and it's funny about that because I've talked to those guys. Like, it's a fine line about, as a veteran, kind of what's your responsibility as a player. Number one is to ensure that you're ready, right? Like, you're not there to babysit, right? Number two, most veterans say, I'm not going to go tell the young guy what to do unless he asks me, because it kind of feel like, hey, maybe he doesn't want it, right? And some guys are scared to ask, but I will say it. And I've told every young player, make sure, ask your veterans, because it's manipulation's the wrong word. But in your workplace, anywhere else, someone new comes in and hey, how do I do this? What do you think of this? You feel valued. You feel like they value your opinion. So automatically you have a better viewpoint of that person. It's just human nature, right? Especially if they have the work ethic, because you're going to need you don't get to the NHL without a work ethic. Or I shouldn't say it, you don't stay in the NHL without a work ethic. I look at a guy like Szymanski and a guy like Matt Savoy, and look at Matt. No one can question Matt Savoy's work ethic this year. No one. Right? And he's clearly put in the work behind the scenes, because look at his speed. Like that bat check the other day on Strome. Look how much gap Savoy made up. Now, he didn't ultimately catch him, but the distance that he closed, you're like, okay, this guy's working. Right? Like, to close that much gap on an NHL player, you're working. So I look at Szymanski and, hey, Edmonton needs it. You need some young guy. If Savoy becomes a top 6 player and Szymanski's a third liner and Clattenburg becomes a fourth liner, that's great, because you got your top line guys. So you need to fill out the other spots. And ideally, you like to fill out some of them with some youth, some internally for sure. And then you'll go externally. It's not going to be a problem for the next few years in Edmonton to get free agents to sign. I know it hasn't worked as well as you would like for some, but that's not going to stop others from coming. What it should do is the organization should look and say, okay, why did Skinner and Arvidsson and Mangiapane, why didn't they work? Well, I can tell you why they didn't work. Having seen it now, and if I can see it, there's no way management can't see it, right? What does Roslovic do that's different than Mangiapane, Skinner, and Arvidsson? There's two things. Number one, what's the number one thing he does different? He's a great skater, right? Arvidsson was the best of the three, but he wasn't a great skater because he fell down too much. So he's not a great skater. And then what's the second thing that Roslovic does? When he plays with the best players, he moves the puck quicker. Now, when he doesn't play with them, he has the ability to carry the puck and control, and he doesn't have to move it right away. Awesome, because he can be the guy who's more of the puck carrier on that line. Right? He has that ability. Watch him in the offensive zone. He can separate from a standstill, quick turns, and go the other direction and create separation from the defenders. There's not many guys in the league that can do that. So he can do that. That's a good skill set to have. But when he played with Draisaitl and McDavid, even though he can carry the puck on his own, when he played with them, he recognizes, hey, I'm a pretty good puck carrier, but I'm not Draisaitl or McDavid in that regard, right? But I'm smart enough, I can give them the puck and then go to openings and they'll give it back to me. That's the one, if you're smart enough, you give it to Draisaitl or McDavid. You never have to worry about them not giving it back to you if you're in a better position. If anything, you're like, hey, McDavid, for a while this year, he's overpassing, right? So you never have to worry about, if I give McDavid the puck, well, I'm not getting it back. This isn't U9, right? Because that's a concern for young hockey players. They don't want to give the puck up because they're worried they don't get it back, right? That's one of the hardest things to teach young hockey players. But you don't have that concern with those two. So that, to me, is the biggest difference I saw from Roslovic. Skinner, little extra time. Howard, saying like Isaac Howard, lots of potential. But for him, when he goes down to the AHL, if I'm calling Chalk, and we're going to have Chalk on next week, and what's my conversation with Ike? I love every part about your game, your speed. You're going to come down here and your score, but you want to score at the NHL level. So, and you want to play at the NHL level. What does he need to work on in his game? Needs to be a better passer and a quicker passer. So work on that in the American League. We know you can shoot, right? And you keep doing that. It's not like you can't work on both at once, but work on the part of your game that's not as good at the NHL level. And in the case of Howard, it's moving the puck quicker. So that's what he needs to do. Quick break. We'll return. Sheng Peng will join us. We'll talk about the Sharks. Macklin Celebrini, hell of a player to watch tonight. And Artemi Panarin coming to San Jose, maybe. Find out next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
The Bricks Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more. Get up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
$4.29. Positive Thursday today. We're trying to be positive. Tomorrow's positive Friday, but it's positive Thursday, just for fun, because there's some things not to be positive about. So for one segment, we'll switch it up. We'll see. The Oilers taking on the San Jose Sharks tonight, and I will say this: I'm pretty positive in my belief that Macklin Celebrini is one of the, if not the best young player in the NHL today. He and not just as a player, like, you know what? Like, the thing that's great about Celebrini, he just has the personality as, you know what? I get he's young, but he's upbeat, he's personable, and that is something the NHL desperately needs. Right? They desperately need it, to have one of their best players who's got a little bit of a personality. You know, got a big smile, can laugh about some things. Right? Doesn't mean he's not serious. Doesn't mean he's not ultra competitive. It's the one message you got from, like, current teammates, former teammates that I spoke to today. Jake Wallman says, yeah, man, Celebrini, that's the thing. Like, what puts him in the elite category is he's just the desire to win and compete at all costs. But, you know, for San Jose, they, you know, for a decade, well, not almost like 18 years under Doug Wilson, they were the best franchise in the NHL. They didn't win a cup, but for the most wins, regular season, time and time again, they were there. GM built really good teams. Now, your best guys sometimes didn't get the job done in the playoffs, but that's not the GM's fault. And then they had some years of down, and I'm not sold that they're a playoff team yet, because they rely so heavily on Celebrini. If he doesn't get 2 points, their chances of winning are not very good. Now, when he gets 2 points, it's really good, and that's awesome, but it's a sophomore player. How many 2 points games is he going to have the rest of the year, right? He's at 22 out of 51. That's really good. But, you know, they're 19-2-1 when he does it, but they're 17-19-2 when he only has 1 point or less, right? So that's a lot on a young player. And a guy who's watched him closely all of last year and this year, Sheng Peng joins us as we go around the NHL, brought to you by Action Electrical. Commercial Service Division has emergency response, troubleshooting and repairs, full-time service manager, estimator, coordinator, dispatcher. You're thinking solar, think actionelectrical.net. As Sheng Peng from San Jose Hockey Now joins us. Shen, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Macklin Celebrini, like, he's been unreal. And I've said it, if the season ended today and it was a 50-game season, he'd be the Hart Trophy winner for me, because of his value to the team has been monumental, bigger than anyone else. It's great for the Sharks that I think they've probably surprised people, and maybe even in the organization. You know, I don't think people thought they'd be a buyer, right? And they went out and got Sherwood, right. But they need a lot more before they're really going to be a a playoff contender. In the final 30 games, like, it just might be too much to ask Celebrini to carry the entire carcass of the Sharks to the playoffs.
Well, I think carcass is a little tough. Will Smith's a good player. Willie Macklin, Alex Wenberg, guys like that. But to your point, though, Celebrini has 42 more points than Will Smith, check number 2. And that's the greatest one difference from the first and second player on a team. The next is, I think, McKinnon has 26 more points than number 2. And then I think Pasternak has 20. Than more than Morgan Geekie. So gives you the idea of just how important Celebrini has been. But yeah, they definitely need more. And so anyway, that's why Mike Rear acquired Keith Sherwood. And there are rumors, of course, that they may acquire Artemi Panarin.
Well, that's why I saw your report that, they're interested and that Panarin would sign an extension in San Jose. And, like, you look at, hey, McKinnon has Makar, and you had Rantanen before, and McDavid and Draisaitl, and, duos. It's a lot easier to score big-time numbers when you have a duo. And you mentioned when Celebrini has more points than the second and third guy in San Jose, like, he's doing it all himself. And I like Will Smith, but he's not on the same level as other top-end guys. So Panarin, he is that guy. He's kind of like the 6th highest scoring player in the NHL over the last many years. What do you think, like, realistically, what would the Sharks offer up to get a guy like Panarin?
Well, a lot of it depends on, okay, so if he signs the extension, but Panarin does have a no move, so Panarin really dictates what he wants to do. Panarin can just choose not to go anywhere. The Rangers can find a deal, but he can choose not to go there. So if the Sharks can't get away with making this trade without, you talked about what the Sharks need in the future. They need more than a winger, more than Panarin. They need, obviously, to add to their defense. They need to add an impact defenseman. So if they can somehow make this trade without depleting their kind of their war chest for that defenseman, then that's a trade that you got to think about making. And so we're talking about, like, prospects. I think, we're talking about guys like maybe a Quentin Musty, or guys kind of Philip Beestead, guys of that ilk. Maybe not the very top Sharks prospects. I doubt that you're going to get a Michael Misa or Chernishoff in such a deal. Also, too, for the Sharks, if you can make this trade without trading one of your own first-round picks, that could mean maybe the Edmonton's first-round pick is in play. Of course, they traded a bunch of second-rounders, a couple of them for Keith Sherwood, so those are a little out of the picture. But I think that's the kind of range that I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for the Rangers, but the Rangers don't have a lot of options, I think, with Panarin.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I hear in the Ducks, the Sharks, the Kings, like California teams would like, and I don't know if they'd ever trade him to the Islanders. The Islanders definitely could use him. It is interesting that, we see Anaheim and San Jose, and Anaheim probably has, they don't have the best, like, Celebrini's the best of the young players, but Anaheim probably has better group of them when you look at Jackson Lacombe and Cutter Gauthier. So it's kind of like, it's an interesting kind of arms race that whichever team out of these two would get Panarin, that could be a big difference in them becoming the team that can really push Vegas and Edmonton in the next few years.
Yeah, and definitely you mentioned Anaheim. I mean, the first guy you mentioned was the defenseman, right? Which is telling, and that's where the Sharks are kind of lacking. They have a Askarov, the goalie of the future. I mean, the Sharks are armed up forward. Celebrini, Eklund, Smith, Chernishoff, and et cetera. But yeah, on defense, though, the Sharks definitely need work on that. And so that is, like you said, an interesting kind of a contrast there. And yeah, if any of these teams get Panarin, it definitely would be a real, it's like adding, like you said, a nuclear bomb to your arsenal.
Yeah. When you look at the Sharks, hey, they're high energy. They score a lot, but they give up a lot, Shen. And you on their defensive core right now, I think there's like 2 guys signed for next season. And now I know that obviously Mac Medulin is an RFA and they're going to sign him for sure. Any of those pending UFAs, do you think they would re-sign?
Well, from my understanding, they have asked or they've reached out to Mario Ferraro's camp in terms of a short-term kind of deal. But I believe 2 years. But my understanding is, and Mario understandably would want a longer-term deal, which based on last year's free agency, guys like Cody Ceci, Ryan Lindgren, I think reasonable comps to Mario Ferraro, they both got 4-year deals. And so that's kind of a sticking point there. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to cross that divide, but Ferraro is definitely somebody that, a lifetime Shark, does everything sort of off the ice for you, and on the ice, he's just the Mr. Energy, blocking shots, all that kind of stuff. And so he definitely can have a place with the Sharks in the future if it works out. I also can see somebody that you guys know well, Vinny Desharnais. He's been great for the Sharks. Great penalty killer, kills plays. There's not a lot of guys like him left in the league. And whenever he's been on the PK for the Sharks, when he's been healthy this year, the Sharks have had the numbers supported. They've had excellent results on a PK. Not to just suggest it's just him, but as a bottom pairing guy, as a number 7 guy, and also obviously you guys know too, great room guy too. You can't do any better than Vinny. So I would think those are the two that stand out. Obviously, John Klingberg has been very productive this year, but I wonder if on the offensive side, for a power play guy, they might look for upgrade in the off season. But obviously, a guy, PP1 guy, those are not easy to find, and so I can see them maybe running it back with him just because there are no options. And obviously, they were kind of in the Dougie Hamilton sweepstakes or whatever. Then maybe not sweepstakes, but they tried to trade for Hamilton over the summer, and so maybe they revisit that this summer.
How's Askarov played?
He's been up and down. Obviously, he struggled in October. He had like a 800 save percentage or something like that. He was amazing in November. He had a 944. Since then, he's been a little up and down. Not as, I guess, poor as he was in October, but definitely not at the November heights. And so I think he's still learning a bit about the consistency in the league. But I think it's been a good overall year for him. Recently, even though the numbers don't show it, he's done a good job for the most part of keeping the Sharks in games and learning to kind of win when you don't have your best stuff.
Sam Dickinson is the one guy on the back end. Obviously him and Mark Medulin are the two, young guys, because you can't just beat Toronto and think you're going to have all young stars offensively and think you're going to win. That's just the truth. Right. It's not a knock on Toronto. That's just a fact. It doesn't work. How's Dickinson? How's his rookie season gone for San Jose?
I think he's coming along. The Sharks took a different approach with him than I think maybe some other teams would have. Some other teams might have seen his 90-plus points or whatever he had with the London Knights last year. I think it broke a London Knights record, maybe even a CHL or OHL record for points for a defenseman. And anyway, just kind of turned them loose offensively. Maybe a little bit like how Minnesota and Vancouver has done with Bouillon. And the Sharks instead, though, have focused on turning Dickinson into a true two-way defenseman, making him learn the defense part instead of just letting him go on offense. And that's not a criticism on the handling of Bouillon. Bouillon's a different kind of player than Dickinson, more pure offense. But I like that direction I say he's taking with Dickinson, because I think if he reaches his full potential, it's probably not to be like your next Erik Karlsson or whatever. But it's more probably to be a minute-munching, 25-minute defenseman that can move the puck but also kill plays. And Sam has all those kind of tools to kill plays at this league with his size and his skating. I just has to kind of pick up the pace, learn the pace of the league, which has been a struggle at times for him. But, that's normal for a 19-year-old defenseman.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that, I think they haven't got sucked into overplaying him. Right. He's basically played in the third pair for the most part. He's averaging 15 minutes, almost, just I think 15 and a half minutes a night for them. And because that he's going to know the offensive side, but there is a fine line at that, Jen, where that's who he is, right? Like he's an offensive minded player. So you don't want him to lose his offensive instinct. So do you think do they need to balance that a little bit more to try to give him some more looks offensively?
No, I don't think so, because I think that if you really had that offensive instinct at this level, it's going to come through. Like you're not going to lose it over the years. It's not one of those if you don't use it, you're going to lose it kind of things. So if he's really got it, then it'll emerge in the coming years.
Shen Peng joins us from San Jose Hockey Now. Shen, Kiefer Sherwood, when's the expectation? Is he going to play before the Olympic break?
That seems to be the hope. I understand he has a hand issue. That's what I've heard, at least unofficially. And he is practicing. He is shooting. And so I think the hope is that he gets in before the Olympics. And there is kind of an interesting question with it, because the Sharks, not that they traded like a massive assets like you might have to do for a Panarin. But if the Sharks can't re-sign him, I mean, you have to think about doing what Carolina did with Rantanen last year and flipping him at the deadline. But once you get past the Olympics, I think there's only like 5-6 games before the deadline. So that's going to be an interesting question mark if Sherwood can't get in before the Olympics.
Yeah. Where do you see, when he comes into the lineup, where do you see him fitting in?
Well, he's going to be great in any part of the lineup, really. I'm sure he'll get a look with Macklin, but also too, he's a guy that can fit anywhere in your top 9 and win the puck for you and create that way, create chances that way. And so you can just slot him in anywhere, really.
Ideally, though, where do you think he'd fit best?
Ideally, I mean, if you're talking about on a top team, I mean, he's more like a third liner, maybe second liner, right? I mean, he can play, I'm sure, on the top line with Macklin, but then Macklin's right winger will have to be a top offensive guy, which is probably on this Sharks team, probably Will Smith, and I can see that working. Of course, the line isn't about just putting your very best players together, right? It's putting complementary pieces together, and definitely Sherwood has skills that Smith doesn't have, and Sherwood will help win pucks for Macklin, so Macklin doesn't have to do as much work with puck battles, and so that could be a benefit to all of them.
Shen, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy the game tonight, and enjoy the walk from your VRBO.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
There you go. That's Shen Penn. He was doing the VRBO, and I walked to the rink, and he's like, I got a really good place, but I didn't know where it was. So had a good chuckle about that coming to the rink today. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Bowl. Yeah? Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his time.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Oh, Jethro. He was a classic. He was a classic in the Hillbillies. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440. Time now for 5 questions. 5 questions for those who brought to you by The Brick, where the friends and family VIP is going on right now. So guess what? Any of you can get the friends and family discounts at The Brick. 30% off bedroom, dining, furniture. You get 30% off sofas and sectionals. Free local delivery when you spend $4.99 or more at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, here's the question. Will the Oilers finally win 3 games in a row tonight? And if so, who's getting the game winner?
Well, you know what, Cons? I'm not as confident to say I would grow my hair out because I'll never do anything stupid like that again. But they're at home this time. They were on the road that game. That's the only loss they've had to the Sharks in their last 15 games. And I will say that the Oilers find a way. They're rested. They had 2 days off, Cons. I was looking, it's the first time they had 2-day break in between any other time. So not that I think fatigue is a reason why they haven't won this year, 3 in a row. But I will say, A, the Sharks give up a lot. B, the Oilers offense is feeling pretty good about themselves right now. And if you want to play a track meet game, usually the Oilers can win in that game. And the Sharks can't really play a lock them down defensive game. So that's why I'll say the Oilers win tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the vets on this team probably want to wrap up this storyline that they can't win 3 in a row, go on a bit of a run here before the Olympic break and stay focused. So I will take the Oilers to win. And hey, it's the pick up at playalberta.ca. So Matt Savoy, I think he's going to get the game winner. Question number 2 for you. We know the opponent tonight is the Sharks, and they are in the hunt. When do you have them back in the playoffs?
That's a good question, man. It is hard to get to the playoff. We've seen that. Like, look at all these teams that were rebuilt. Oh, that like Buffalo is 14 years. Detroit's what is this coming up on 9 for Detroit? Right? Like it takes Ottawa was what 5 or 6. Like it takes a while, man. It is not easy. So you always got to knock out. So I don't think they're knocking out Edmonton or Vegas anytime soon, unless one of those 2 organizations has a massive string of terrible injuries. So then I got to go to the LA Kings. Now, the LA Kings, I think they're susceptible for sure to be a team here. The Kopitar's retiring. Drew Doughty's, nearing the end. Quentin Byfield's a good player. He ain't Anze Kopitar, right? How they replaced him. So, and I'll say this. If one of San Jose or Anaheim gets Panarin, it's not the Kings, like, yowzer. There's not a lot of big-name free agents available, right? It's not like the Kings are blessed with a ton of prospects to trade. How are they going to get better? Where the Ducks got a lot of good young players. The Sharks got some good young players. So I'm going to say, because I think the Ducks are actually going to make the playoffs this year. And so then it's, who else? So the Ducks are already kicked out the Kings. Who are the Sharks kicking out? So when I've dug into the numbers on Celebrini, man, without him, I will say they don't make it this year. They don't make it next year. So they'll make it in 28.
I'm gonna hold out hope and say they hang on to a wild card spot this year. Obviously, need Celebrini to stay healthy, and an acquisition would be huge. But they're in that spot right now. They got a couple games up on the Utah Mammoth. Got to fend off the Kings. I think the Kraken will fall off at some point. They're 7-3 in their last 10. So I'm gonna say the Sharks find a way to get the job done. But they got to get better on the road. They're just above 500, so got to clean it up a little bit there. But I'll say the Sharks hang on and get back for the first time since 2018. 2019 when Pete DeBoer got them there. Question number 3 for you today. Looks like, oh, there we go. Question number 3. 2 weeks away from Canada's pursuit of gold at the Olympic stage. Going to be a nice 8:40 start, 2 weeks Thursday. On that team, who do you think could be an X factor for them?
Go ahead.
I mean, I think there's a few. I mean, the obvious names we'll try to stay away from. So I'll take Bo Horvat. He's had a pretty good year with the New York Islanders, probably playing lower down in the lineup. Maybe pair him up with Tom Wilson. But I think Bo Horvat's a guy who is going to be counted on to play in the bottom 6 and chip in with a goal here and there. I think he might score a couple. So I'll take Horvat.
Horvat. All right. I'm going Tom Wilson.
I like that pick too.
Yeah, I think Wilson is gonna, like, if Brayton Point can play, and the guy they add, I don't even know if the guy they add is automatically going to jump ahead of guys that are already on the roster. Like, don't sleep on Tom Wilson getting some big minutes at times for Canada.
Yeah, I would. Hey, I like that pick. Question number 4 for you. Alex made the move today, signing Austin Mack, free agent wide receiver out of Montreal, also getting Jared Brinkman re-signed. When you look at this team, any other positional group you think they should look to add?
100% O-line. Like, it's a no-brainer for me. You got, now, hard to do, but they've got to improve the offensive line. I look at they obviously went out there and got one of the best wide receivers, maybe the best wide receiver available. They have a veteran quarterback. I really like their running back. I could see them adding maybe one other wide receiver even potentially here. But if Mathis is healthy, that will help them. But they need help in the offensive line cons. Like, to me, you know what? If you can find, I'll say this, twofold. It's offensive line, but it's also another Canadian starter somewhere, because then your offensive lineman could be an American.
Yeah, hard to argue with that one. Depth is always so important. You're just one injury away and try to stay healthy. I'll say edge. I think getting an elite edge rusher, it's not groundbreaking, but they need that. Noah Taylor had 4 sacks last year. That was great, but they got to get higher. There was a long stretch when they played the Rough Riders. The Riders had more sacks in the game than they had all season. So I think we know how rush and cover goes hand in hand. If you got to get after the quarterback, that's going to make your secondary look good. So I think adding edge rushers would be important. Final question for you today. Actor Tom Selleck turns 81 years old. Very well known for his great mustache. When you look at Hollywood and you think of mustaches, who comes to mind?
Ooh. Who's that guy on Lonesome Dove? Sam. God, that's the guy. God, I got to look up his name, Cons. So you go with yours, and I'll find his name.
Sam Elliott?
Yes.
You're thinking of?
Thank you.
He's kind of got the voice too to go with it. See, this is kind of one I was hoping that we'd have TR for, because he's just got the best answers. One of my favorite actors, he just pops up every once in a while, and I think he's always a kind of a bit of a badass in his shows. Danny Trejo.
Oh, yeah.
He's always got the classic mustache going, the great hair. He's always cool. I loved him in Sons of Anarchy. So, Danny Trejo will be my pick.
Yeah, but Sam Elliott, dude, his voice with the stash, that's a good combination. You know, also was good was and I know it's not regular, but in Tombstone, Kurt Russell, sick stash.
Oh yeah. You got to maintain that one.
Oh yeah, no, that was no joke, man. It's a big one, so I like it. 4:56. Mark Spector will join us next. We also will hear from Leon Draisaitl coming up in the next hour of the show. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. even though it's 2026. Don't forget about the huge savings Mike and the gang on 2025 models. Get great savings right now. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers hosting the San Jose Sharks down at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. Pre-game coverage here on Sports 1440. It's going at 6 with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro getting going shortly. You got the Jets and the Lightning. Canadians host the Avs. Kings in Buffalo. Bruins hosting the Flyers. Islanders and Rangers once again. Penguins host the Blackhawks. Mammoth in Carolina. The Flames travel to Minnesota. You've got the Canucks hosting the Ducks and the Leafs in Seattle. In the association, Bucks taking on the Wizards. Sixers host the Kings. Heat up against the Bulls, making up a game from January 8th. You have the Nuggets and the Nets, and the Pistons head to Phoenix taking on the Suns. From the CFL, the Edmonton Oilers signing wide receiver Austin Mack to a 2-year contract. The 28-year-old had 48 grabs for 674 yards last season, 2 scores with the Alouettes in 12 games. The team also re-signed defensive lineman Jared Brinkman through the 2027 season. PWHL 1 game tonight. New York taking on Montreal. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll preview tonight's Oilers game with Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear from members of the team. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters, to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
The Bricks Friends and Family Sale is back. And for 4 days, we're extending our VIP offers to everyone. Get up to 30% off sofas, sectionals, bedroom, and dining furniture. Up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, receive a 5% instant credit towards sleep accessories when you buy a mattress $7.99 or more. And buy more, save more. Get up to $1,000 off select major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring graders, forklifts, wheel loaders, man lifts, mini excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, plus commercial trailers and sea cans. Info at maauctions.com.
Winter snow and ice are nothing to fear when the Lawnmower Hospital's in your corner. Keep pathways clear of snow with the Echo PB770T backpack blower. Or go even bigger with the huge PB9010T. Right now, buy select commercial walk-behind BCS sweepers and get the Echo PB9010T for free. The Lawnmower Hospital has pet-safe, plant-safe ice melt, too. Visit lawnmowerhospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWell. Get your power play amped up with EWell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWell.ca is your partner in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Just after 5 o'clock as we roll through game day, Oilers, Sharks tonight. Be just after 7 o'clock, it's about a 7:10 puck drop, as it will have 3 of the top 5 scorers in the NHL: McDavid, Celebrini, and Leon Draisaitl. The Edmonton Oilers chasing that elusive 3-game winning streak. Can it happen? We'll see. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, you name it. They got it all. Also, Connor Halley's pick of the day. We always have him at the Jason Gregor Show on game day. He's going with the Matt Savoy goal tonight. We have some, little McDavid action, the Oilers winning, and then a little combination of other guys getting points. And then we have a parlay of other games around the league: Islanders, Sabres, going with the hot teams, the Pens, the Sabres, the Bruins, the Islanders, the Wild, all to win. So check it out at playalberta.ca. Let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Whether you need running water or driving on that freeway, think GS, they made it happen. GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. Oilers, well, I guess let's first of all start, you can tell the excitement in Leon Draisaitl. He's going to join us after you, just talking about Team Germany and just, the pride of representing his country.
Yeah, and, one thing that I had forgotten, I guess, a little bit about is there's going to be guys on that team, one in particular that he said our moms knew each other, and I knew him within minutes of being born. I hadn't thought about that. We know about the German guys over here. Cahoon's been here before. They know each other real well, so he'll have fun playing with him. There's different guys around the league, different German guys, Paterka as such, but that's his roots, man. He came up through that German national team system, and he gets to go home, put on his uniform that he grew up in, and that's pretty cool no matter who you are, right?
Yeah, that was Parker Toomey, I think he was talking about, who was his buddy right from from minutes old, right? So
Parker Toomey?
Yeah, I think wasn't it Toomey?
I thought it was a guy named Tiffel. Frederick Tiffel, I think.
Was it Tiffel? Oh, okay.
I think it's Tiffel. I'm not, I think so. That's what he said. Yes. Pretty sure on that, in fact.
All right.
Anyway, you know what? There you go. You get to go back because this guy's playing, I believe he's playing in Germany somewhere. And let's face it, Leon's never going to play in Germany again. So good chance to play with his old buddy. He'll have a good time over there.
Oh, probably. And Dominic Cahoon and those guys dominate when they're very young together. As Leon said, hey, when you're getting 6 points a game, it's pretty fun. Different league, but still, no one else is getting 6 points a game, right? Other than those two, they were dominating. And that happens even now in U13, U15 hockey. Get a few kids that just dominate everybody else. It happens. Macklin, Celebrini, Draisaitl, McDavid have been the top dogs in the NHL here in this decade of the 2020s. No question. Yeah. David's first, Draisaitl second in points. Then you got McKinnon, you got Kucherov. those being the four guys, and they dominate. Now, McKinnon's never actually won the Art Ross, but he's always around it. The other three have won it. Pasternak, I think, is fifth in that time in points. But Macklin Celebrinian is only his second year. Here he is. He's kind of like, there's all the guys spec, and he just kind of elbows his way, getting closer to the front of the line. And he's kind of doing it as a little bit of a freedom fighter in San Jose.
Yeah, he's not surrounded, right? With, there's a nice looking team there, but he's clearly the best guy on it. Look at, he's got him and Draisaitl have both played 51 games. Celebrini has 78 points. Draisaitl has 74. So that's pretty legit. If you're telling me I'm outscoring Leon Draisaitl by 4 points so far, I must be a hell of a player, because we all know how good Draisaitl is. So, this is the game. I'm looking at the schedule here, a lot of games around the league, and I get it. Local fans watch their own team, and they're not that excited about everyone else. But for the hockey fan, this is the game on the calendar tonight. This is a game that people are going to say, after my team plays, I'm going to whip over to San Jose, Edmonton, because they've been scoring a lot of goals around here lately. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of hockey player on the ice tonight in this one, man. This is one you should watch.
Oh, God. There'll be some exciting spec, just like it was against the Ducks. There will be offense to be had if you want it, right? The Sharks don't have the same. I think they got the best young player between them and the Ducks, but I think the Ducks have more when their whole roster is healthier than the Sharks do. But hey, San Jose, they're rolling. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Celebrini's playing great, and man, there's a young guy, super excited, very personable, right? Like, and when you watch him, he should. I don't even think it should be a debate. He should be the left winger to start the Olympics with McDavid.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a pretty stacked lineup. But what I thought about him, he's still 19, right? What I thought about him today was how mature, and he's a little nervous. I mean, let's face it, you're a 19-year-old kid pinned up against the wall, and there's 7 cameras and 20 journalists talking at you. But I thought he handled it really well. He has a sense of humor. He wasn't a deer in the headlights. In fact, someone asked a question, and he says, "I hate to say this to you, man, but that whole story was false. It was misreported, and it was a hoax." And a lot of guys would feel like they shouldn't, make someone. It's not how they would handle it. I thought he handled it perfectly, is what I'm saying. He had a laugh about McDavid. He says, "I hope he doesn't do anything tonight. In about a week, I hope he starts lighting it up." So I just feel like he certainly is ahead of his years. Like, he seems older than 19 when you talk to him. And obviously his game speaks for itself.
Oh, God, yeah. You think Ekholm's going to play tonight?
I don't know. He practiced. Usually when a guy practices, he plays. But not even knowing what the injury is, I don't know. What do you got any insight on this thing?
Well, I'm with you. And I stuck around, Spec. He didn't stay out late at the morning skate. Now, maybe that's just because he's doing a twirl. But if you're not playing, usually you're staying a little bit later, right?
Yeah. If you're not playing because you're injured,
and he was off before Regula. So now that doesn't mean that Regula hasn't played a lot, so maybe he's just staying out there anyway. But
no, I hear you.
Hey, I could say this: whether Ekholm plays or not, it should be irrelevant to the whole. Edmonton should be able to win a game without Matthias Ekholm. No offense, Matthias Ekholm, but teams around the league win games without their best players, right? Like, that's just how it goes. So if he's in, that's obviously a boost. If he's not, it just means someone else has to score a hat trick tonight, Spec.
Yeah, I know. And the league is, it's a sort of state of the game, right? The league is, what do we need for this month? How many more hat tricks to set a league record? Like 4 more hat tricks or something?
Only two for the league, because they're up to 28. The league record was 29, so they need 2 in the next 3 days.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a fluke, freak of nature thing, but it's a month of NHL hockey, 32 teams playing, is a relatively large sample size. And I guess I'd say to you, Jay, the league's in a good place. If we're setting records for guys scoring goals in bunches, that's the kind of league I want, right? That's the kind of league, that's what we're all aiming for here. And we've been sitting here in Edmonton. We've seen a 6-5 game recently, a 7-4 game. And I get it. They're not all going to be that way. And as the games get more important, the scores are going to come down. I've been around. I know how it works. But in December, Jan, and Feb, if they're lighting up the scoreboard a little bit, I think every hockey fan is absolutely fine with that.
Oh God, yeah. Like you don't need to play great defensive hockey in every game of 82. Like, give me a break. Like, you can mix in some 6-4, 6-5 games, and hopefully fans are smart enough. I think most are to realize, hey, did they win? Yeah, they won. Yeah, like because you had a bad defensive game in January on the 25th doesn't mean it's on April 20th that, oh my God, we can't play defense. Like it's so, and the game is so different, right? So different. We'll see. But I look at the order spec, and the opportunity for them has been there this whole month, and they can still salvage it if they continue on here, especially because and in a, like this, it's not only winning 3 in a row, but the San Jose Sharks win the game. They're only a point behind you in the playoff race. Like there's actually more at stake here.
Yeah, there you go. So what are they on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games into this homestand. They've lost 2 of them. You know, so they're 3-2 right now in this 8-game run here. And, you know, you want to be better than that. You lose tonight, it's 500. 500 at home is not good enough, Jay. We all know that. So I think there's, you know, how would I say this? You can not respect Anaheim. You can not respect San Jose. You can say, yeah, sure, you got to do it the playoffs. You can say whatever you want. When you look at the standings, and Anaheim comes in here, and a win would have put them ahead of Edmonton. And then you look at the standings and you go, man, we lose to San Jose. They're a point behind us. You better respect them, and you have to respect them. They're clearly right there with you. So, sure, those teams haven't played playoff hockey. I get it. They're not that experienced in May and June and blah, blah, blah. But right now in January of 2026, those teams are breathing down your neck. And I certainly thought it was a more concerted effort by the Oilers against Anaheim than we saw in any of the games last year. And I suspect that San Jose will get their full attention here. The days are gone of thinking, San Jose, we'll just chuck our sticks and gloves over there and win a hockey game. I don't think you're not beating San Jose anymore. What are they, 7-3 their last 10?
Oh yeah. Well, they are for sure. And you got to respect them. You can't take them lightly, but this is a team you definitely can beat. Now, interesting about the Sharks spec is that they're in the Artemi Panarin running. And according to Shen Peng, that, Panarin's camp said, hey, we'd sign an extension in San Jose. So obviously, there's obviously a few teams here. The Rangers sitting him out back-to-back games. And, reports are he won't play again before the Olympics. But I'm like, my God, like how many games are you going to sit the guy out? Just get the trade done at this point, right? You sat him out for 2 games in a row. But San Jose, Anaheim, like it could be a little bit of an arms race because 2 young organizations trying to get their way back. You add Artemi Panarin, like people can, I don't care if you don't like his personality or not. The guy's a performer on the ice. Like he shows up and plays and can help your team.
Oh, what's he led the Rangers 7 years in the row in points?
Yeah.
Including this season. So Artemi Panarin is a 30-goal, 90-point player, So, like, say no more, right? Again, who off ice, dressing room, blah, blah, blah. He's a consistent 30-goal, 90-point player. So this is there's 2 things here. If I'm the Rangers, I'm asking for a ton, and I'm not giving in this long before the trade deadline. That's the first thing. Second thing is, without Artemi Panarin in my lineup, I'm sitting in last place in the East, and I'm probably not getting out of there anytime soon. So that part's not so bad. And I think the fun thing for me, Jay, is it's cool watching the Anaheims and San Jose's go through these rebuilds, and they're starting to emerge. And we're talking about all these sexy young players they have, and that's awesome. But now we get to the part where they start adding actual free agents and veteran, top-notch players to come move this thing along a little bit, right? So that's the interesting part for me now. You're not just waiting around for the Jackson Lacombs and the Will Smiths and those guys. You're going to go out and get an Artemi Panarin and throw him into your mix. How would he look playing with on a line with Celebrini? Holy cow!
Oh God, yeah. Could you imagine? Right, like that would be a great running mate for him. But hey, could you imagine Celebrini? Like if they're going to have the Reinhart, McKinnon, Crosby line, which played together at the last Olympics and did pretty well.
Okay,
Celebrini to me is the no-brainer to play on the left side with McDavid. Like it's not even a discussion, is it?
Listen, I love it. I'm with you. Let's do it. Give McDavid the best young offensive savant in the game today. Absolutely. And who goes on the right side?
Well, it all depends. Is Braden Point healthy enough or not?
Yeah. It was Point at the Four Nations, right? So
yeah, that I know for sure. Like I know that 100% that was the plan. The Point was going to play with McDavid.
Yeah,
that was 100% the plan. So
yeah, well, that's all coming down here. Like I mean, listen. Braden Point's a killer, awesome, good player. Totally deserves to be on that team. I'm not wishing him any injuries or, hopefully he's healthy and he can play. What you can't do is bring guys there who are showing up at 80% and hope they get healthy over the course of time. The tournament's too short for that.
Totally.
Too short. I'll be fascinated to see if, I'll tell you what, Zach Hyman fits into that spot like a hand in a glove, man. That spot's sitting there next to McDavid, a right winger they need, a guy that can play the power play if they need him. Holy cow, like Zach Hyman's the perfect guy for the job. So that flame's still flickering, I think, don't you?
I think it is, but it doesn't seem like it is for other people. But the way Hyman's played, like I don't know if you're the GM and you're watching and you realize it's a short tournament, like I think they're leaving on the 7th, so they'll probably have 1, maybe 2 skates beforehand. Right now, these are the best players in the world. They can all figure out how to play with each other. Don't get me wrong, but if you can have a slight advantage of playing someone who's played together,
why
wouldn't you do it? It's like at 5-on-5, I'm probably going to play McCarr with McKinnon's line because they've played together all year long.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, Jay. And the better the player, the harder he is to play with, right? We all watch that over the years. So absolutely. If I can have particularly 5-on-5, if I can furnish Connor McDavid with a winger that he's really comfortable with, and there's 2 players that know where to go and where each other are, and there's no assimilating while we're over in Milan. Oh, you're right. To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm talking myself into Zach Hyman on that team, but again, we got to figure out how Braden Point's doing first.
Yeah. And we won't know because someone asked, hey, what if he's not ready for the first game because Canada's probably going to get through the preliminaries? Well, I don't think Canada can approach it saying, well, we can wait because I know they have 14 forwards. So in theory, yes, you could wait, right? You could sit there and say, hey, you know what? We will play our 13 forward, who's still going to be a very good player. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
And away you go. Yep. And we'll say Braden Point, I'm sure his coach, who knows him personally and has seen him. And I get it. We all have biases, and it's just a natural. Or he's like, hey, you know what? I want Braden Point there. And he's earned it. He deserved it, as you said. But I do wonder, the GM has to look and say, guys, we got to take the guys that are healthy. Full stop.
Well, I would think. And the other thing is Braden Point hasn't played a hockey game in a long time either. Coming over there, we watched the Four Nations, and what struck me, apart from just how great that tournament was and how much better we went through how we didn't think it was going to be much, and it turned out to be totally awesome. What struck me was the lightning fast pace of play, the puck movement, the transition. Like it just was the fastest hockey that we've seen played in years, faster than a Stanley Cup final, in my opinion, because it's just the way it was. Everybody's a great player. So trying to play catch up is going to be hard for Braden Point. Trying to play catch up in that style of hockey that's going to get played in Milan, that's an awfully tall order.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. No question.
Oh, it's going to be great, man.
Spec, the Edmonton Oilers have been in the NHL since 1979, 1980. That first year, they did not win 3 games in a row until game 50, 51, and 52. 92 and 2000 took them 55 games. Tonight is game 55. Do the Oilers avoid setting a franchise mark, or do they win tonight?
Nope. Last time I picked them to win, I think about 3 of these ago, and they didn't, of course. So I'll pick San Jose tonight.
Oh, really?
They're going to come in here. They're going to wreck the party. You're going to keep on with this incessantly.
Oh, I love it. It's just a bug. It's fantastic.
3-game thing. I think you're the only guy in town that cares about it.
Hey. well, hey, Spec, just look at the numbers. Tell me the Stanley Cup winner who won without winning 3 in a row. Just let me know.
There's never been one?
No.
Wow. I don't know, man.
Like the Oilers didn't win the cup the last few years, but they had 4 3-game winning streaks in the first year. And then last year they had a 6-gamer and a 9-gamer. So yeah, trust me, you have to be able to put together winning streaks. You just do.
Whoever won a cup and said, I'd like to dedicate this cup to those 4 wins in a row back in December.
No, Spec. I'm talking in the playoffs. If you can't win 3 in a row in the regular season, you think you're just going to snap your finger and win 3 in a row?
They'll win 3 in a row to play. I don't know.
No one's ever done it. That's all I'm saying.
This is a ledge. I know I can't talk you off, so I won't even try.
No, well, that's good. It's just ridiculous. It's odd. The decade of darkness team, Spec. Do you know, in the salary cap era, 10 times Edmonton's teams won 3 games in the first 10 games of the season. 10 times. And with this team, which is a really good team, at some point, they can't trip their way into a 3-game winning streak. It's just odd.
Have you now, this sounds like it's becoming a bit of a fixation for you. Should I talk to Tracy about maybe doing some kind of intervention here?
Hey, buddy, I don't research quick. This took me like 5 minutes to look it up. It's no big deal. No big deal at all.
Listen, I hope they win tonight, man, because I'm sick of this 3 wins.
So do I. Trust me. You think I want to keep researching it? I'd like to move on. That would be nice. I was going to look. I'm sure there's an NHL team, though, that went a whole year without a 3-gamer. Like that Buffalo team or Colorado a few years ago. There's no chance they won 3 in a row. But maybe they did. I'd have to look that up.
You're the research king. I'll eagerly anticipate the news on that tomorrow.
Spec, you know what? I will let you know because I know you're waiting with bated breath to see what happened in 2017 for those horrible Colorado Avalanche when they won 22 games all year long. That's pretty wild, eh? 22 games. God, that'd be a tough year.
Yeah, that's a tough year. Was that 17? Was Pickard kicking around there then?
Ooh, that I can't remember. Was Pickard on that team? He might have been. He was. Oh, he might have been. Can't remember if he was or not.
Much fun.
Yeah, I don't think he was though. I think he might have. Cons, you look that up. He might have been gone by then. We'll have to see. Spec,
coming right up, man. Coming right up.
I can tell you right now that the Avs that year did not win 3 in a row.
There you go.
There you go. So somebody's done it. Hopefully it's not the Oilers. Spec, enjoy the Celebrini night tonight. Looking forward to seeing them.
All right, sounds good. JC at the rink.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. When we come back, Leon Draisaitl talking, and Leon Draisaitl, a great line about facing Connor McDavid potentially at the Olympics. Because we'll tell you, it is possible, even though they're in different pools, the Olympic tournament, every team makes what we'd call the playoffs. We'll tell you about it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Roll Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
The Rock and Roll Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk. And it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At No Bull RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from Noble RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 67 Camp Ready plans are available at No Bull right now.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy Papa John's delicious butter chicken pizza for only $19.99 for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.531 Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having an awesome day. Of course, The Oilers getting set to take on the San Jose Sharks. Tonight, lineup changes. Connor Ingram is in. Matthias Ekholm is a game-time decision. So we will find out at warm-ups whether or not he is going to play tonight. He did take the optional skate this morning. So there you have it. Hey, the Buffalo Sabres. Remember when the Buffalo Sabres, everyone's like, they're tanking to get Jack Eichel? They won 3 in a row 3 times that season. They only won 23 games. They still managed. They had 3, and a 4-game winning streak. So come on, Oilers. They can do it. They can win 3. And God, imagine if they get 3, then they could get 4. You never know, Oilers fans. You never know. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And hey, if you believe in it, maybe believe in the Oilers winning, McDavid scoring, well, you can get odds boost at PlayAlberta.ca. Today on that one, some other ones around the NHL. So check it out. Connor Halley has his Connor Halley special. He's going with the Matty Savoy goal tonight. Nice. The Spencer Stastny one hit last game, Cons. That was quite fun. Not gonna lie, it was pretty fun. So we'll see where it goes tonight in the National Hockey League. Busy day in the NHL, as there are 15 games going on tonight, and lots of them have implications for the Oilers as you're heading now into that stretch where the one that probably impacts Edmonton the most, outside of their own game, of course, would be the Vegas Golden Knights, because Vegas is taking on the Dallas Stars. Vegas currently is 1 point up on the Edmonton Oilers. They have 2 games in hand. And if somehow the Stars could beat them and the Oilers win, well, then Edmonton jumps ahead the 2 games in hand, but now you're ahead. So at worst, you're only 3 points back, right? That's where games in hand only benefit you when you win the game in hand. Other than that, it's not it. Hey, boys, I'm going Szymanski goal. Thought he looked great in his debut. Oh, Brad. You never know. Dare to dream. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. We are going to get to Leon Draisaitl in a sec, but first we're going to get to Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where there are no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. Here is Cam Tate.
I have to ask one very important, more of a, question. Can I have my voice cloned to sound like Ed Hervey? Just saying there, Gregor. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Is this finally the night? Is this the night the Edmonton Oilers get the monkey off their back? Are the good folks over the Valley Zoo to get the monkey executive suite ready for his return? The Oilers and Sharks tonight. 2 cats, as Low-A-Tide would coin. 2 cats, one named Connor, other Matthew. Going to be more high octane out there than the international airport on a Monday morning. Yet. The winning 3 games in a row for the Oilers is the line story tonight. So what happened between December 21st, 2023 and, pay attention, Connor Halley, February 4th, 2024. 16 consecutive wins for the Oilers, and now they can't win 3. So is tonight the night? We ask the question on the 2-minute warning poll. 65. 6, Persenny. For goodness sakes, don't forget the 6 said, yes, tonight is it for 3 in a row. 34.5% said, sorry, ain't gonna happen. Now, I'm phoning Ed Hervey for voice lessons. 2-minute warning Gregor Halley Kruger, who told me with great excitement he finally figured out why monkeys have rather big nostrils. It's because they have big fingers. Me? I'm Tater. Sports 1440.
I look at the Oilers, and because we have a lot of text, Grady, I actually think the Oilers are better than they were the last few years. Well, it's going to be hard to be better because they went to the Stanley Cup final, right? So McDavid's still here. Draisaitl's still here. What if Hyman and Ekholm are healthy in the playoffs? Does that automatic? And let's say McDavid's like, your best guys stay healthy in the playoffs. Then I think that in itself could make them better. Funny enough, the one area that we don't know yet, because they haven't done it, is goaltending. Tristan Jarry doesn't have a big track record. Now, neither did Stuart Skinner until he got into the playoffs. Had some ups, had some downs, got back up. So that's a little bit of a question mark, but I don't think it's a massive one. I need to see the roster on March 8th because I still think they need to add, right? They added each of the last 2 years at the deadline. So who do they add this year? But, man, I like Podkolzin. I like Kapanen. I think Manny Savoy and Jack Roslovic. Like, if you look at Roslovic and Savoy and you take away, Arvidsson and Brown, I'm not even including Jeff Skinner, but I'd say that's probably an increase, right? They're better. So, yeah, Jake Wallman, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse. Now, I think on the third pair, there's a little bit of concern because Brett Kulak was really good in the playoffs the last 2 years. Can Spencer Stastny, well, I don't think he's going to be better. Could he be close or equal? I have to see it. So we'll see where it goes. But it is it's hard to say. It's a good question, and I'm sure it's one that will be talked about a lot. Right? But when you go to back-to-back cups, it's hard to match that. Right? The only way you get there is if you get to the cup final again. Now, good news. 2 teams have done it in the last 6 years. Tampa Bay went 3 in a row. Florida went 3 in a row. Tampa won 2. Florida won 2. Now, Edmonton can't win 2, but they could win 1 and go 3 in a row. So teams have done it. No reason why the Oilers can't do it. And the one advantage Edmonton has had is their hardest part of their schedule is over. Right? They don't have to go to the East Coast again, Eastern time zone again until the Stanley Cup final if they get there. They haven't had to be there since December 18th. I do think that's a small advantage from previous years. Will it help them? We'll find out. Health is the biggest factor. It's completely uncontrollable. You don't know. And if they could stay healthy, then I think Edmonton has a really good chance. But what are the other teams going to do? Right? Like, what's Colorado going to add? What's Vegas going to add? What's Dallas going to add? That'll make it fun. Hey, Greg, do you think the Oilers are in a Panarin? I thought I'd ask. I don't get the sense of that. So I can't say 100%, but I'd kind of be surprised. I think would Stan Bowman, he's not doing his job if he's not talking to them. So, and I know they've had a conversation, but do I think it's one that's overly in-depth? If it is, it's being kept quiet, which is fine. Nothing wrong with keeping it quiet. We'll come back, and Leon Draisaitl will join us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring graders, forklifts, wheel loaders, man lifts, mini excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, plus commercial trailers and sea cans. Info at maauctions.com. Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Industrial Auctions are this Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It is the final countdown. Welcome back. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, get in the game. Anything you like, you want to have a little fun, stay within your limits. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instants, and more. And check out the Jason Gregor Show. We have special bets, odds boosts all the time. You got the Connor Halley special today, a Matt Savoy goal. You got some McDavid order wins. And then one with Draisaitl, Hyman, and Bouchard. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. And speaking of Leon Draisaitl, we'll get to the oil report brought to you by GoAuto.ca, your best choice when you're thinking vehicles, cars, SUVs, trucks. They got over 15,000 vehicles to choose from. Order yours today, GoAuto.ca. And here is Leon Draisaitl, and was asked about, just kind of, he's the face of German hockey, and this is a big deal. He didn't plan to be the face of German hockey, but that's what he's become. And him and his teammates, an opportunity here, something that he's never experienced, to play for his country at the Olympics.
See it as just wanting to go there, be around some of my best friends and show the hockey world how good we can play hockey as a team. We know we're going to be an underdog in the majority of the games that we play. But we got some great players, and German hockey has come a long, long ways. And, I'm just going to try to do my part to help our team be as successful as we can. And, hopefully at the end of the day, we're going to achieve what we want to achieve.
How are your ties with all those guys? Like, there hasn't been an Olympics for you. You don't play in the World Championships anymore. Do you still have ties with all those German players, or do you need to maybe build some?
Yeah, there's certainly some guys that I don't know or haven't met even yet. The younger generation. Some of the guys on the team are some of my best friends that were standing in my wedding, and guys that I talk to daily, and so it's a bit of a mix, but a bit of both, and just excited to see everyone, excited to get the group together, excited to represent our country and truly show the hockey world how great we are as a country.
So, Bernie, you can probably relate to a little bit, Leon. Like, it's a real breakout year for him, earlier than most guys. But I don't know how much you watch the Sharks or how much you watch his game. But what do you respect, and what excites you about his game as one of the young up and coming stars?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I've watched an awful lot of their games. But obviously, his statistics speak for itself. That's impressive to begin with. And then just from last year, I remember just him playing the right way. At that age, that's hard to do. That's special. And it's obviously a special talent. So yeah, excited to go up against him.
I'll go back quickly to Cahoon and you, going back to Mannheim days. I was looking up your numbers when I wrote about your 1,000-point, and you guys had like ridiculous numbers there. How much fun was that playing together, and is that going to bring back a lot of memories for you being on the same team as him again?
Yeah, I mean, if you get 6 points every night, it's pretty fun. But let's not read too much into that. But again, it's just excited to be around them. You know, like my childhood best friend is on the team, Freddie Tiffles. Our moms went to school together. I've known him since I'm minutes old. So just really excited. You know, it's been a long time since I've been able to represent my country and be around those guys. And I think that's, you know, partly what I'm most excited about is just being around my friends and getting to experience this with them.
You also have Josh Szymanski. Your thoughts on what you saw to him? And
he's a hockey player. You can see it. You know, he understands the game. He understands what he needs to do. You know, there's going to be some learning and growing in the NHL. That's like any player that's ever entered the league. But you can really see that he understands what he needs to do. He understands what his game is all about. And I think he's got a really bright future in the NHL, in my opinion. Great kid on top of that. It's been fun to, talk a little bit of German in the dressing room.
I imagine there at the Olympics, athletes will be excited to meet kind of each other from other sports. Are you in that same boat? Are you excited to meet some of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I know the setup is unique with the Olympics this year, just because a lot of the athletes are going to be in Cortina up there, and that's about, as far as I know, 4 or 5 hours away. So I don't know how much we'll actually get to see them or meet them, but there's going to be some athletes that are around that are going to be great to be around and meet them and get to talk to them and pick their brain a little bit. So definitely excited about that.
So Germany gets a couple wins. You get out of the group stage. You come into the playoff games and you face Canada, and you're standing there across from Connor McDavid at the opening faceoff. What would that be like?
That's scary for him. No, that's that would be really special, of course. But at the end of the day, when it's all, it might feel a little weird at first, but when the puck drops, like, he's going to look to give his team the best chance to win, and I'm going to do the same for our country. And I think that's what makes those tournaments so great. So that would obviously be a unique situation, certainly, and an odd feeling, but yeah, we'll see where it goes.
I like that answer. Pretty funny. All right. Hey, pretty scared. I like it. And obviously now they did play against each other way back in the 2016 World Championships. In one game, Canada beat Germany 5-2. And McDavid and Draisaitl had, they had met each other, basically being teammates for a year at that point, right? And Connor, if you remember, had missed a lot of time that year. So I don't think their friendship at that point or their skill level between the two of them is what it is now. But it is, yes. And no, of course McDavid's going to have the advantage. It's Canada. Like, you're okay. Even if you say, hey, Leon Draisaitl's really good, right? So if you say, hey, I think Draisaitl could counter McDavid, okay. But then what? Like, who's countering McKinnon? Who's countering Crosby? And I like Tim Stützle, but he doesn't do it. Is Seider as good as Makar? No. All right, so that's where it becomes an issue. And Germany does have some better top-end guys, right? Like, they've got some legit top-line players, top-pair defensemen. They just don't have the same depth. But you know what? They'll work hard. And in a one game, anything can happen. Upsets have always happened. So, I look at Germany in their pool. I think they should go in and say, hey, obviously we want to win the pool, but you know what? If you lose to USA, there's nothing embarrassing about that. You beat Latvia, you beat Denmark. Now you're second. And so how it works in the Olympics, there's 12 teams, right? There's 3 pools of 4 teams. Everybody plays the other 3 teams in their pool once. Then the team who finishes first in each pool automatically gets a bye. And then the second place team, there's 3 second place teams in their pools. Whichever one has the best record or best goal for against, they also get a bye. So think back, Oilers fans, to the 2020 season. and remember it was the top 4 teams, and then the Oilers, they kind of got screwed out of that because they went by points percentage, and then Edmonton ended up having to play. But either way, obviously they weren't ready. They lost. But then it would be a 1 game, 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11, 7, 10, 8 versus 9. Then the 4 remaining teams who come out of that would then, whatever their seed is, they would play the top 4 teams. And those top 4 teams are obviously seeded. The number 2 seed would be number 4. And those 3 number 1 seeds, somebody might be 3-0, so and maybe 3-0 in regulation, so they'd have 9 points. They'd be first. Unless there's 2 of them with 9 points, then you go to goal 4 differential. And the U.S., in theory, it doesn't mean it'll pan out, but in theory, probably has a little advantage because their pool, like Sweden has to play Finland, Canada has to play Czechia. Now, the rest of their pool, that's why don't be surprised if you see one of those teams, you get up 6-0, they're going to try to get up 9-0 because goals for, goals against will matter in the tiebreaker. And this is grown men, man. I don't get concerned about it at all. You know what? How about this? That's what I like from our listeners. So Conrad can't go to the game tonight. So we got a pair of seats, a parent and a kid who's never gone to a game. Text in right now, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And you can 100% go to the game tonight. Don't say yes and then text back you can't. No, because this is short term. So make sure, check with whoever you have to check with, that you're free and you can go to the game tonight. We'll have a pair of seats for you to go to the game. McDavid, Draisaitl, Celebrini. Could be a fun game, a lot of offense. So 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, anyone who thinks Draisaitl only is good because of McDavid, the Olympics proved that. Draisaitl will show his leadership and why he's one of the best in the world, JC. JC, does anybody actually think that anymore? Because if you look at Draisaitl in the games without McDavid in his career, he averages 2 points a game. So, yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there now, any sane person, who believes that Leon Draisaitl isn't good. Right? I don't think that at all. I could be wrong, but you might have somebody on Twitter. Who cares? No offense. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion and you're entitled to be wrong. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. So, at all. Draisaitl is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and away you go. So. Interesting in Detroit tonight, Patrick Kane sets the record for most points by a U.S.-born American player. And you know what? The players didn't come off the bench. You know why? Because it's not that important. When he passes Brett Hall, that's when it'll be important. So I like it. Even Patrick Kane's like, guys, everybody's talking about this, but the record is when I pass Brett Hall. That's the one that matters. So there you go. He moved ahead of Mike Modano tonight. Congratulations, Patrick Kane. Let's get to the Con Man, a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Loca. You like to eat? I know you do. Well, you like to eat healthy with good chef-prepared meals? Well, meals.loca.ca. Check out all they have. You can get it in store, or even better, they'll deliver it right to your door. Meals.loca.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers in action, taking on the San Jose Sharks. Puck drop just after 7. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro coming up next year on Sports 1440. Couple games underway after 20 minutes. Kings trail the Sabres 2-0. Canadians up on the Avalanche 3-1. In Tampa, Jets trail the Lightning 1-0. Preds 1-0 lead over the Devils. Islanders and Rangers are scoreless. Penguins, Blackhawks tied at 1. Mammoth behind the Hurricanes 1-0 in midway through the first. Caps lead the Red Wings 1-0. Later tonight, you got the Blues and the Panthers. Flames taking on the Wild Ducks in Vancouver. Golden Knights hosting the Stars, and the Maple Leafs take on the Kraken in the Association. Early in the second, Sixers up on the Kings 40-36. You've also got the Bucks trailing the Wizards 37-27 later on tonight. Rockets in Atlanta. Hornets taking on the Mavs, and the Suns host the Pistons. Some news from the CFL today is the Elks signing wide receiver Austin Mack to a 2-year contract. And bringing back defensive lineman Jared Brinkman through the 2027 season in the PWHL 1 game. Olympic break that will resume play on the 26th. Coming up next, you got pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.